Hey, how you doing? Hope you all are doing great. As you've seen in the thumbnail, in this video, we're going to see what if Naruto got in a harem with Zelda. This is part 7, and before getting into video, I request you to check the author of this fanfic and show some love and support. Name of the story is The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess Tremor 230 style by Tremor 230. Do check it. All details in description. And if you want next part of this series, please leave a like, share, and consider subscribe. Let's get into the video. Also check out Patreon for uncensored spicy content. Link in description. So we know for certain that at least 2 fragments of the Twilight Mirror are in places we can reach. Link, shade of the past hero of courage, and now a gold-colored wolf, said sighing as he, Naruto, and Midna finally exited the ruins. An ancient groove somewhere and on the peak of some mountain. But the third? Naruto answered with a defeated tone. In the heavens. I hope they mean in the sky, and not literally in heaven. I don't like the idea of us having to find a way to reach there without dying first. Midna added, leaning her head on Naruto's as she sat on his shoulder. In the sky would still be hard to reach, and how can one of those pieces be hidden in the sky? The former shinobi asked, groaning. In the sky. In the sky. I seem to remember something about it. Link said, thoughtful. If I can be of help, Master, I might have the answer. The spirit inside the Master Sword, called Phi, said as the blue and purple female entity appeared in front of the group. You should not waste energies. You said your presence here was limited because you have almost done cleansing the great evil sealed inside the Master Sword. Link said, worried. Until that happens, and I fade away along the evil taint sealed inside the sword, I shall offer all the help in my power to assist my new master. Phi answered, and I say that maybe if I focus natural chakra inside the blade, I can actually help you do that without dying in the process. So once found a couple hours to do that, we will try. Naruto answered in determination. Then until that moment comes, I will continue to assist you, Master Naruto, as a way for me to repay your kindness. I may possess the right knowledge to help you along your journey, and I will offer it completely to you. The spirit answered, sounding almost thankful and floating close to the shinobi. So, you know where we can find that fragment in the sky? Of course, Master. Of course you can tell us. You are ancient. You of course know about it. Midna said, crossing her arms, huffing. Miss Midna, I detect the 85% probability of you being somehow against my presence here. Why is that? Phi asked in a somehow curious-sounding monotone voice. I am not jealous. The imp yelled, furious. I never stated the reason, being jealousy, Miss Midna. The sword spirit answered, reclining her head to the side. Yeah, the small girl tried saying before falling silent and blushing deep green. Small matters aside, like the need of Miss Midna of being the only one worthy of calling our friend master, Link said, smirking at Midna's darkening blush and spluttered denials. You said you could help us finding the fragment of mirror hidden in the sky. How? Naruto asked, cutting off Link before he could finish. I was getting there. The golden wolf muttered, offended. Master Naruto, there is a very small chance that the fragment of Twilight Mirror may have somehow reached the city in the sky of the Uka tribe when the whole body of the mirror has been shattered. How small? The blonde asked with a raised eyebrow. Between 30 to 43% chance, Master. It's not much, but it is still something, Utsukushi muttered, unsure. I am of the same advice of Miss Utsukushi. Link added with a nod. Still, it is not 100% chance. Midna said calmly, looking up in the sky. No, I am not saying this because I don't want to believe her for personal reasons, but because we have no certain proofs of the piece being there. For now, let's see what mountain we'll have to visit, then which groove, and then we will try see what heavens we'll have to comb. The imp girl said, glaring Link into silence. Well, then I know who to ask for both answers. Naruto said, grinning. Slash you do, Master. The rest of the group asked as one. Oh, Telma's friends in the resistance. Ashay-san talked about a mountain being worthy of visit because evil plagues it, while Shad-san said that he was actually studying the Uka civilization in detail. We can try asking both. The former shinobi said, proud of his brainwave. So those were not subquests, but actually references to our main one? The ten-tailed vixen said, shocked. Yes, I too noticed how often useful pieces of information kept popping up whenever I needed them, seemingly at random when I was young and alive. I guess the three goddesses are trying to help us, saving Hyrule, by making sure we stumble on the right knowledge. Even if they could at least try to be more subtle about it. The hero Shade Wolf answered chuckling. Hey, at least they are helping. I appreciate it, Naruto said smiling and sending a thumbs up to the sky. Goddess's realm. No traves, sweetie. Din answered, blowing a kiss to the blonde's image on their screening pool. We are subtle. It is not our fault they are too observant. Farwer, though, added offended. I'm starting to think that maybe we are not that much subtle instead, sister. Naru admitted, sighing. Back on the mortal realm, so we go visit Telma? Utsukushi asked, uncertain. It's a good start. Maybe those two guys can help us for real, Midna answered, shrugging. Then please let's use one of your portals, Midna. Naruto asked, smirking. Aichen, payment first. The imp answered, pointing at her cheek. Oh, spoiled princess. The shinobi said, amused, before doing as asked and kissing said cheek. We should hurry up. Time may be of essence, master. Fi said blandly. Jealous already? Fearing somebody might steal your master from you? Link asked, amused. I do posses in my memory 2,734 different recipes of stew that can be used with wolf meat. The spirit answered calmly. Eep. The hero Shade whimpered with lowered ears and tail between his back legs. HN. Clearly satisfied and amused by the byplay between hero Shade and spirit, Midna used her powers to transport the group right outside the gates of Hyrule Castle Town. A few minutes later, and a short explanation later, Telma's bar. So the answer to our troubles is behind that mirror of yours? Telma asked, taking a thoughtful expression as soon as Naruto and Midna finished telling her what they knew. It's the only chance we have left, Telma. Zant and whoever is giving him power is hiding in the Twilight Realm, and we need the mirror to enter there. The imp girl answered while finishing her pint of beer. Another fetch quest then? Ilia asked, emptying her own and slamming the glass down on the counter. What? The cursed princess asked with narrowed eyes. Ever since he has met you, it has been a dangerous mission after another. You are a bad influence. The girl of Orden replied, glaring at her. We are saving the world, brat. You can't pretend it to be easy. The other answered, glaring back at her. Quiet, you two. Now is not the time to fight between us. Telma said, chastising the two and making them fall silent. You think Ashe and Shad can help us? Naruto asked, looking around the bar. Probably. As you said, Shad is studying the Yucca, and Ashe has already noticed the situation in Snow Peak. In fact, Ashe has just departed towards that northern mountain to check things out. The woman answered, nodding. So you think we should start from there? The shinobi asked. Yep. Shad is by now buried in books, so he won't even notice should the planet explode under his chair until he is satisfied of what he has found. Ashe is your best bet, as she is already there. The woman answered, smirking. To be honest, I'm actually taking a short pause, but I too suggest to start from Snow Peak all the same, as there the situation seems to be more important at the moment. If I can find a path to the city in the sky, I will tell you. If legends are right, the whole construction has been there for centuries, if not more. I don't think a couple days more will be too much for it to wait your visit. Shad answered as he joined the group with a small smile. He is not exactly wrong. So mountains first. Ruzzle? Pass me the map of the region, please. Telma said, making the masked member of the resistance in the room reach the group with shy steps. It is not nice to give a person's name if he is wearing a helmet. The man answered with a low voice as he handed the map to her. We are all in the same boat here, Ruzzle. Nobody of US would sell the other's identity. You are just scared that Naruto will tell your wife about this latest idea of yours. She answered, laughing. And I may just do that. You have a son waiting for you and another baby incoming. You shouldn't take those risks, Naruto added, frowning. I know. I just want to make sure my kids will have a peaceful Hyrule to live in. That's why I am doing this. He admitted, sighing in defeat. Then I will keep the secret. Just be careful, old man. The former shinobi answered. I won't say a thing either, Ilia added with a gentle smile. Thank you, Naruto. You are alive and well. One of the other members of the resistance said happily as soon as he entered the pub. You are the old man that asked me to check the Arbiter's grounds. The shinobi said in shock as he neared the man. Yes, it's me, and I am not that old. Have you found anything of interest in there beside the broken mirror you people are talking about? The man answered with a jovial laugh. Not much. The whole place is a mess that is sinking into the sand. Those robes-wearing guys were the only ones not wanting us dead for the rest. Lots of living skeletons and similar. Naruto answered. Robes? You mean the sages? Those people once served the royal family, appointed as tutors to the young Princess Zelda herself. So we can trust them about the whereabouts of the fragments, as it was from them that I heard about the mirror, but I never knew it really existed. Oh, it is real, and we need to find the pieces if we want to fix Hyrule. I'll go to Snowpeak. Any suggestion to make the trip short? Naruto asked. Pass by the Zora domain? It should be the shortest route, Shad suggested. Thank you. The shinobi answered while rapidly leaving. While our friend will put his life at risk to find those mirror fragments, we will try again to find a way to take down that barrier around the castle. Telma said, sighing as she sent a meaningful look at the ceiling of her bar, while unseen by the others, making a shadow stealthily leave the local through one of its many secret passages. It would be easier to see how it is made or what it looks like. At least I would know where to look in my books for some clues. I didn't even know the barrier existed before you told me. Who discovered it? Shad asked, sighing. A friend of mine, a guy a bit more aware of things and adept at magic and similar. The woman answered, shrugging. Well, I'll see what I can do to take down that invisible wall then. The Hylian man scholar answered, deflating a little. Meanwhile, with Naruto. Naruto-chan, that a familiar voice said as a small toad jumped on the blonde's free shoulder. Mashima, what are you doing here? He asked, surprised. Oh, a frog, Minna said, curious. I am a toad, lady. The toad elder answered, growling. Meh, can't see any differ, wham. Ma. Naruto said, shocked, as he watched Link try to dislodge Midna's head from the wall she had been kicked through by the toad summon. Teach youngsters no respect for the elderly, she answered with crossed arms as the blonde finally freed the imp girl to return her on his shoulder. There was a reason I liked her, Atsukushi said, smirking. As I was saying, I am here to see if you needed help, Naruto-chan. The Toad Summoning Clan never forgot about their summoner. Even if you failed to call us, even just once, even just to say hello. Shima said, glaring at the blonde. I was just trying to stay under the radar. The young man muttered, looking sheepish. Nonsense. You should have called, even just to show you were okay. Are you eating properly? Are you taking care of yourself? You are not just running around risking your life, right? The small toad asked with narrowed eyes. Don't tell me I pretty much argued with my mother-in-law. Even if she is just the substitute grandmother, this doesn't bode well. Midna thought, grimacing, as while her magic protected her from harm, she still argued with a maternal figure of her target. That usually never helped gaining points in a relationship. I promise I will call more often, Ma. I will call more often, Naruto said, sighing. Good. Then once done here with this new battle for the sake of the world, we will talk about finding a good woman for you. I won't live forever, and I would like to see some grandkids, Shima said, huffing. Ma, hush. Now go and fix this place. And be careful. The small toad summoned shooed him away, and watching the blushing man disappear in one of the imp girl's portals shortly after. What can I do for you, Missy? Shima said, looking at a corner of a near shop with narrowed eyes, making Ajitha come out from her hiding spot. Good evening. I am Ajitha, Princess of the Bugs, and I have a proposition for you. The girl replied, giving an elegant curtsy. A proposition? About me and Mr. Naruto, the sage king of the toads. Hua. And our future babies, your grandkids. The girl finished saying with a conspiratorial smile. Oh, then let's go somewhere more private to talk, Missy. I think we'll have lots to talk about. Shima said, smirking as she jumped on her shoulder. Yes, Madam Shima. Call me Grandma, dear. I think we'll be good friends. The small toad said, making both smile mischievously and making the faraway Naruto shiver in dread. So she is cheating, eh? Very well. Two can play this game. Ilya hissed as she returned inside Telma's bar unseen. With Naruto, Zora domain. Hello? The blonde shinobi asked to one of the guards patrolling the main pool of the Fish People Kingdom. Yes? Ah, you must be Master Naruto. We have been told to who we owe our freedom from all that ice and the safety of our prince. He told us to help you with the best of our abilities. So what can I do for you? The Zora answered immediately. Yay, that's me. The young man answered sheepishly. I was wondering if any of you could point me towards Snowpeak Mountain. They told me that the shortest route passes by here. He asked. Snowpeak? That's a very dangerous place nowadays. The guard answered with a worried tone. I can imagine, but I really need to go there. Then follow the waterfall right outside this room. At its base on the left, you should see a narrow path with a bunch of Zora guards hanging around the caves there. One of those tunnels will bring you to the base of the mountains. Just ask the guards there which one to use. The Zora answered, thank you. The former shinobi answered, hurrying away and literally diving from the top of the waterfall to the water below. Base of the waterfall. Woo. Nice one. One of the Zora patrolling the area admitted with a short clapping once seen the blondes jump. Thank you this way for Snow Peak? Naruto asked, gladly accepting the fisherman's help to come out from the water. Yes, just go right ahead, but be careful. The other answered while pointing towards one of the tunnels. Why? Because not only has the weather been bad lately, but even the beast has been coming to the village. We have been taking extra precautions because of that. Beast? Midna asked, curious. Very strange creature, dangerous looking and big. Better safe than sorry. So we have been cautious ever since it started coming down the mountains. The guard answered, shrugging. We will be careful. Don't worry. And thank you. Naruto answered, running through the pointed tunnel towards the mountains. Meanwhile, Konoha, Tsunade's office. Very few things could catch the infamous slug queen Tsunade Senju by surprise nowadays. She had learned to be ever vigilant during not one, but two shinobi wars and her dealings with Madara, Obito, the Akatsuki, and back in her youth with Hanzo the Amicage of Rain Village. But the three women that were waiting for her in her office, one she herself had locked tight the previous day, still managed to have the element of surprise against her. Who are you? Tsunade asked calmly while Shizen behind her prepared herself in case of attack. I am Din. The smirking woman with short red hair, dressed in strange red clothes scarily similar to Naruto's own, flamed coat comprised, said, pointing at herself with both her thumbs while sitting on the Hokage's chair. I am Faror. The woman with very long green hair and wearing a curious green tunic, in Tsunade's opinion resembling a pajama, added without stopping her gazing outside the window at the village below the tower. And I am Neru. The last woman, blue hair in a strict bun and wearing pale blue scholar robes, said while still perusing the books in Tsunade's personal bookshelf. And what can I do for you? Tsunade asked with narrowed eyes as her fists ever so slowly clenched tighter and tighter. Now there is little you can do, as you should have acted sooner. Neru answered, snapping her book closed. What is done, but you can still fix the damages if you hurry up. Faror added, turning to watch the woman in the eyes. What damages? The Hokage demanded. About what you did to my lil champion. Din answered, leaning forward on the desk to better glare at Tsunade. Your champion? Who is he? And how did you enter here if the door and windows are still locked? The Sannin woman asked. You know him very well. After all, it was you the one that exiled him on a silly island because you needed to make few politicians happy. Din answered with a sing-song voice. Why you mean? Shizen gasped in shock. Yup, dear Neru. As soon as Din started answering, the office desk went thrown away as Tsunade tried pouncing on the red-haired woman only to grab nothing. Quite feisty. Faror commented, nonplussed. I would have described it as rude. But feisty too is acceptable. Neru admitted as she too, just like her sister, didn't show surprise at the Hokage's outburst. Did I struck a nerve? Din asked, curious, while sitting on the upturned desk at the other side of the office. Stay still, so I can squeeze everything you know about him out of your skull. Tsunade roared, furious. And then what? We are here to give you your last chance. Write him. Write him and tell him how you feel. If you really are sorry, then tell him so. Neru said as her body slowly faded away. What the? Call back your attack dogs and let our hero of power live his new life in peace. He has every right to finally find the happiness he deserves. Din said as she too faded away. How? Admit your mistake. Have the others admit their mistakes and ask for forgiveness. And then let him be, and maybe one day you will meet again as friends instead of enemies should your paths ever cross once more. The red-haired woman said, uncaring right before disappearing completely. Who are you? Tsunade demanded. Are you religious, Miss Tsunade? Faror asked. Religious? Do you believe in gods? She clarified. What does gods have to do with Naruto? Tsunade asked, confused. A lot more than what you can imagine. The green-haired woman replied, disappearing completely. I don't understand. The Hokage muttered without even noticing Shizen rapidly, leaving her alone in the now empty office. I have a new letter to write, and I guess it's high time for his old teammates to write a couple themselves. Shizen said in determination as she walked outside the tower and towards Sakura's apartment. Back with Naruto, Hyrule, path to the northern mountains. A long walk through various intersecting tunnel crudely dug in the rock finally brought Naruto Midna and Link on a snow-covered clearing, separating their exit point from the starting path, leading to the peak of the mountain range housing Snow Peak Mountain, their destination. Kinda chilly in here, the former shinobi said, shivering a little. Yep, Midna answered, nodding. You can enter my shadow. Maybe you won't feel cold in there. No, I am staying outside, she answered stubbornly. Yes, dear, he said, sighing in defeat. I thought I heard a familiar voice. Is that you, Naruto? Ashe? The blond man asked as the figure covered in a thick coat made of white fur and matching mask covering the whole head, making her resemble a small yeti, moved closer to him. Yes, it's me. What brings you to a dangerous place like this? Ashe answered, taking away her furred helmet to show her standard expressionless face. I happen to need to reach the top of a mountain for a thing I need to find to help Princess Zelda. Then I remembered you mentioning that here things had got stranger, and I decided to try my luck and see if what I needed was at the peak of Snow Peak. He answered, shrugging, and I was right in deeming this situation strange. Ever since Zora's domain got covered in ice, this mountain's been much colder than usual. You noticed, yeah? She answered as both looked at the frozen lake leading towards the mountains and separating the tunnel they used from Snow Peak's territory. Cold is cold, that's for sure. The young man answered, shivering and wrapping himself tighter in his coat. But what is worrying me is not only the cold. Ashe said, thoughtful. It isn't? Midna asked. Not only that, but I heard a really weird story from the Zoras. She answered, nodding. Weird? Utsukushi said, making Naruto repeat the question for her. Yes. Apparently, the beast that lives somewhere on this mountain has been seen frequently in Zora's domain. Yeah, those guys warned me about it. Me too, but I was still curious, so I came and waited. And as they'd said, a giant appeared. It didn't attack you, right? Naruto asked, worried. He ignored me. Don't worry, she answered with a tiny smile. That makes me feel better, so? How did that giant look like? It looked like this. Ashe answered, handing Naruto a small piece of paper. Wow, her drawing skills suck. The Biju Vixen commented as the group watched the cutely childish scrawl of the creature the young girl saw. Deciding to ignore his Biju companion and her commentary, Naruto focused on the sketch and the strange red smear vaguely looking like a fish the creature was holding in its hands. Is that? Naruto asked, unsure about how to ask without hurting her artistic feelings. Yes, apparently this thing's been stealing red fish from the village. Ashe answered, sure. I see, but why? Or at least, why now? If it has been living on the mountains before, why coming down risking the Zora to attack him? All just for some fish? Naruto asked, confused. That is what I want to investigate further. But I can't even see the path through this blizzard. You know what I mean, yeah? She answered. Let me guess, you want me to check this for you? Naruto answered, chuckling. To be honest, yes. The girl answered flatly. Good thing, I too need to check the mountain for my own reasons. He said, sighing. I am sure you are here because you're curious about the mountain, and I am happy to hear you are open to help me. But you'd best not go without a plan, Ashe said, watching him shiver a little again under the chilly wind. I am not one for convoluted plans, to be honest, the young man said, smirking sheepishly. If you go into this blizzard without a plan, you'll get lost. And that'll only lead to disaster. Trust me, Ashe answered with crossed arms. I'll be fine, the former shinobi answered smugly. BRRR. Then deflating immediately at a particularly cold gust of wind blowing on the two. Sigh. You may be a hero, but you really are hopeless sometimes. Here, take my helmet and fur coat. It will protect you from this cold. The girl sighing before handing her furred helmet to Naruto. Oh no, I won't let you get a cold to help me, Ashe-chan. The chuckling blonde answered, forcing her to keep the thing for herself. If you were sure, I guess it can't be helped, she answered while looking his hands, covering hers with a curious expression. His big, strong hands covering her smaller ones. His cold and yet warm hands warming hers. His slightly callous and yet gentle hands delicately holding hers. You okay? He asked, confused. Grrrr. Midna growled with narrowed eyes. Grr. Growl perfectly mirrored by Utsukushi. What? He asked, turning his head to look at the imp girl. Nothing. Both answered coldly while sending their combined glare at the girl. Oh. In the meantime, Link was having a hard time pretending to be a normal wolf without giving in to laugh. I am aware that the only clues we have right now are the stories of the Zoras and my sketch, Naruto. It's not much, I know, but I ask you to help me all the same. Ashe said, hastily donning her mask before turning to look at the mountain. No problems. I will resolve this too, no big deal. Trust me, Ashe-chan. Naruto said, hurrying back towards the Zora, already planning to ask for more info from the fish people. Warm. Ashe in the meantime muttered while looking at her hands and curious about the slightly tingly feeling she had in the pit of her stomach and on the back of her hands where he had touched them. A long trek later, Zora domain with Naruto. So we have a small clue about what that beast wants, the hero Shade Wolf said as the group resurfaced from the tunnel. More or less, it is not exactly in high definition, but it does look like a fish. Naruto answered looking again at Ashe's sketch. It sucks. Midna said flatly. She probably did it on the fly, be a little more accommodating. And I do find it adorable. The blonde man answered chuckling. She gave it to you. The imp girl answered bitterly. Yes, but because we may need help to understand what fish this is, like that we will be able to prepare a bait, so to follow that thing on the mountain and have it unknowingly act as our guide through the blizzard blowing up there. I am sure it was nothing on the matter of seduction, Miss Midna. There is no need to be jealous. Link added amused. I'm not jealous. I have no reason of being jealous, and I will never be jealous of that brat. Midna hissed in answer. Actually, I detect an 87% chance of you being jealous, Miss Midna. Fi said from the sword without actually manifesting her full body. Shut your trap. The imp answered. Can we please focus on trying to understand how to find that beast and reach the top of the mountain? Naruto asked pleadingly. Hey, that looks like the beast of Snowpeak. Anir Zora said, noticing the sketch in the blonde's hand. Well, yes it is. A crude drawing of it at least, but it should be that thing. Naruto answered unsure while nearing the guard. And that red smear? The Zora asked confused. It should be a fish, or so the brat that drawn it said it was. Midna answered. A fish. A red fish. By the shape, it should be a reek fish. The Zora answered unsure. Reek fish? What name is that? Naruto asked amused. One that we have been even too much generous in giving it. So that beast has been showing itself because it's been catching that? So it seems. We didn't think that anyone besides Prince Rallis was capable of catching this type of fish. The Zora admitted impressed. Is it that hard to catch? Naruto asked curious, having become quite invested in fishing since his coming to Hyrule. More or less. Let's say that other than the right bait, not everybody can stomach its capture. A new, young voice said, making every guard stand rigidly and shout in surprise. Prince Rallis. Every Zora present yelled as one. You okay? Naruto asked with a sad smile as the prince walked closer to stand in front of him. I'll be. So you really are Naruto. My mother came to me in a dream and showed me your image. She spoke of a youth who would save our domain and steer my fate, one named Naruto. The short Zora answered, making the near guards gasp. Would you believe me if I say that I have been kind of strong-armed into this? Naruto answered sheepish. Chosen ones always are, Rallis said with a small smile. But I still must thank you for all you've done. If there is anything I can ever do for you, please tell me. The prince then said, well, I may need help about the thing living on Snowpeak, actually. The beast man, perhaps? What about it? It seems to like reek fish. Any idea where to find some? Naruto asked hopeful. We need some to attract the thing down and then follow it up the mountain, Midna added. The reek fish is a rare specimen found only in the Zora village. It feeds on a valuable type of coral, and without that bait, even our best fishers cannot catch one. Rallis answered thoughtful. Gee, figures. Now we need to hunt down some coral. Just perfect. Atsukushi groaned in annoyance. Awesome. Any idea where I can find some of that coral? Naruto answered with a defeated tone. Oh, that bait is very close, Naruto. My earring is made of that coral. Rallis answered amused. Really? The other said with clearly relived eyes at the prospect of not another fetch quest popping up. Hua, I'd like to give it to you. I receive it from my mother, the Zora prince said, handing the honestly lovely earring while turning very sad. He gasped in surprise when Naruto's hand wrapped his, forcing him to grasp the earring tightly. Then keep it. I'm not going to use a memory of your mother to catch some fish, he said with a sad smile himself. But your mission, I'm sure I will come up with a good alternative. The blonde answered, winking. No, I must insist then. If my mother urged me to return here as fast as I could to help you, it means that the Beastman of Snowpeak is tightly linked to your quest to save Hyrule. I must help you. Rallis answered in determination. Prince Rallis. One of the Zoras muttered in surprise. As I look at you, I get a sense of what my mother wanted, what I should be doing now. The small prince answered with a low voice. Then help me, show me how to catch that reek fish, so then the earring will remain with you. Can you teach me, Prince Rallis? Naruto said with a proud voice. That I can do. And to be honest, it is not chance if it is shaped like a fishing hook. My mother planned it to be used like that. We will find the reek fish at the mother and child rocks in the waterfall basin. I'll guide you. The Zora kid said, walking rapidly towards a duo of rocks, one big and one way smaller. Coming, Your Highness. Naruto said, smirking. Fetch my equipment. This will be my first step in helping our tribe. Rallis asked with a firm tone. Yes, Your Highness. A near guard answered before immediately diving into the water. Make yourself comfortable. It will take a while. Atsukushi said, yawning. A while, furball? Midna asked. Fishing, it will take probably hours before one of those are caught. Even using the perfect bait, I have experience in this, trust me. The vixen turned human answered, lying down to take a nap. Oh well. Wake me up when you two catch one, the imp girl said as she entered Naruto's shadow to take a nap herself. Quite the curious friend you have, Naruto. Rallis admitted as he secured the earring at the end of his personal fishing rod. She is very special, yes. Nice model. He answered before pointing at the rod. You like? I used you for the main body. Many thinks that it would make. What about the reeling? I always find a thing to be just too damn slow, and yes, me too, but for that I believe. I think Miss Atsukushi and Miss Midna had the right idea. Wake me up when you have done, Naruto. Link muttered before curling on himself to sleep a little and leaving former shinobi and Zora Prince alone geeking about fishing equipment while they waited for reek fishes to catch the bait. A couple of hours later, the snoring hero Shade Wolf was still deeply asleep when a euphoric cry of hit shocked the whole Zora domain, making him, Midna and Atsukushi jump awake from the sudden outburst of both Naruto and Rallis as the Zora Prince was clutching his fishing rod tightly while pulling back. It's a huge one. The young prince yelled each word separately as his human friend helped him pull the fish outside the water. I am here. Naruto yelled in answer as their combined strength managed to pull the struggling prey to the shore until it was finally caught. And Theitstaiinks. Naruto, Midna, and Link screamed as one in disgust while the other Zora guards vacated rapidly the area. Well, yes. Why do you think we call it reek fish? Rallis answered with a small grimace himself. That is not stench. It smells like dead shit covered in sewage. Atsukushi answered, gagging. I think we won't need to make a trap using this thing. If the beast of Snowpeak likes to eat this thing, he will stink just like that. Midna said with watering eyes and covering her nose. Have you memorized the smell? Naruto asked, coughing. Link simply looked at him in a deadpan way while huffing. Of course, you are a wolf, and so this smell is even worse for you. You will probably never forget it. The shinobi admitted to himself as Rallis threw the fish back in the water. Maybe I should have warned you about its peculiar scent, but I can assure you it is quite tasty once cooked. The prince said, amused. Food for thoughts. I may try it once done here, but for now the scent will be more than enough for us to follow that beast back to its nest. If we are really lucky, Link should still be able to follow the leftover smell of the one that thing has caught. Naruto answered, sighing. So it's a farewell? Rallis asked sadly. Hey, you talk as if I won't come back ever again. I will come visit instead. I am remaining in Hyrule, so I will have plenty of time to come pay a visit to you, the blonde man said, smiling. You promise? Of course I do. I always keep my promises, the other answered proudly. Then I will wait for your visit. You will always be welcomed in the Zora domain, and you can count on us for everything as a way to thank you for all you have done for us. The prince answered, making the several guards around nod themselves. Thank you, Rallis. Gotta go. We have a mountain to climb. The former shinobi yelled as he ran towards the tunnels leading towards Snowpeak. Be on guard. If that human spy Mr. Rinadu talked about shows up, I want him stopped or at least misled at all cost. Rallis ordered. Yes, Your Highness. The guards answered as one thrusting their lances up in the sky with a roar and making one of the many shadows in the area gulp in dread. With Naruto, several minutes later, base of Snowpeak. Good. Ashe-chan accepted to return to Telma's bar and leave everything to us, Naruto said, elated at not seeing the girl around once exited the tunnel. TCH. You worry too much about that bimbo. Ignoring Miss Midna, I should have found the trail left behind by our furry friend. Link said once took several whiffs around until he recognized the reek fish smell. Can you follow it? The shinobi asked. The wind here is exceptionally strong, but I am certain I can fill the voids should we encounter some. The hero Shade answered unsure. Well, better moving then. The blonde answered, closing the coat and covering his head with the hood of his coat before bravely facing the abnormally cold wind blowing down from the top of the mountain. Hey, let's try this. Midna said, snuggling under his coat and letting only her head pop out from the front. Sharing heat feels nice. She then said, chuckling. Faye. Amateur. Oh. Warm. Naruto said with a pleased moan. Oh. A fiery woman like me has burning chakra to match the body, so I'll share some of my hotness with you. The Biju Vixen said smugly. Cough. Show off. Cough. Link muttered under his breath as the group made its way through Snow Peak's raw and narrow passages. I agree. Phi commented as well. Oh. Do shut up. Snow Peak Mountain, halfway to the top. 1 hour later. As it turned out, the beast living on that mountain could either get lost really easily or like to take leisure strolls around its woods and ravines, taking its sweet time reaching the top. And since the weather was pretty much shit with perpetual snowstorms stopping everybody from seeing anything at an inch from their nose, the small group of adventurers/substitute heroes could only follow the zigzag trail of fish stench left behind by their target, sometimes being forced to turn back because they had lost the trail or forced to fight hordes of snow-made wolves attacking them in packs. You know, Midna yelled, trying to be heard above the howling winds around them. What? Naruto screamed back. I'm starting to think those wolves are part of the reason this weather sucks. They are not normal. The imp girl explained. I detected high levels of magic similar to Miss Midna's in them. There is a 85% chance they have been put here to feed the snowstorm master. Phi added, she too forced to scream. Don't give up. We are almost there. Link finally said as the upward path started to get harsher in inclination with the smell trail now going into a straight line. Thank God, Naruto said happily as the group doubled their efforts to climb the giant staircase of rock that had been crudely cut out of the side of the mountain. Because of the harsh weather conditions, the freezing cold and deafening winds still raging on them, no one of the group noticed the various ice-made bats trying to sneak on them, getting pinned by few well-placed kunais on the surrounding walls and trees before the beasts could even touch them. Ah! Naruto muttered, curious and finally looking behind. What? Midna asked. I thought I heard a shriek or something. He answered. It must have been the wind. I can barely hear my own thoughts, let alone other noises. The imp girl said. Yep. Your voice is a pretty annoying noise. I'm glad you finally admitted it. Atsukushi commented, smirking. I can hear you. You FLEA-covered furball. So what? The other said. Aard, will they ever stop? The blonde thought, sighing in despair. I can see the entrance of a tunnel. Let's go there. Link said as a small hole in a tall mountain of snow could still be seen leading to a wide cave. I'll take care of it. Naruto answered, nodding and focusing chakra in his hand. Rasengan. In a loud explosion, the thick wall of white went atomized to show a man-made tunnel leading deep into the side of the mountain. It seems like an old mine, Midna said as she came out from the blonde's coat to better look around. Mostly caved in, they probably abandoned it because it ran out of resources or the monsters roaming around made it no longer worth the effort. Link added as they walked deeper into the tunnel, and then ice and snow covered the entrance, hiding it. How did you find it? Naruto asked as an ancient-looking rope ladder was waiting for them at the end of the only sane tunnel. The smell of reek fish passes by here. I guess the Beastman uses this place as a shortcut to the top. Link answered as the pawed a claw mark running parallel to the ladder and up the walls to the top. Good to hear. Need a hand to climb this? Naruto answered, creating a clone. Yes, please. The hero Shade answered, looking down as the clone lifted him on its shoulder before both blondes started climbing the ladder. Tuck, 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 tuck. It sure is a long ladder, this one, Midna said, surprised as she calmly floated next to the original Naruto's head. Tuck, 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 tuck. Yep, very long. He answered, surprised himself. Tuck, 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 tuck. What a thrill. Snake Eater. The imp said, singing. It's not that long. Link answered, huffing. In fact, as soon as Link said that, the group finally reached the top of the ladder, leading them to a small passage before a new wall of snow signaled that the exit as well had been completely covered. Sigh. Rasengan. The shinobi said, annoyed, and blowing the whole thing away so that the strong wind of the storm could freely rattle the insides of the cave. I swear, once done here, I will take a nice vacation, one all about sun and sand and doing nothing. The blonde muttered, grimacing. Yes, but still in Hyrule. If we change place again, we may end up in a quest to save the world a third time. Utsukushi added. Shadow beasts. Link screamed as a twilight barrier rose around them, and 3 creatures fell from the sky, already on attack position. To hell with this. Massive shadow clone technique. Naruto yelled in fury as he jumped high in the air, soon followed by dozens of clones. Sengo. Seichuma Rasen Tarangan. Sage Art. Mini ultra big ball spiraling cereal spheres. I remember that one. Utsukushi muttered, shivering in phantom pains. Holy sure, Kritakaboom. What Link was about to scream, although easy to imagine, went soon eclipsed by the titanic explosion of the enraged blonde's kind of overkill response to the new annoyance, literally disintegrating the shadow beasts and leveling down a good chunk of the mountain as collateral damage. Once the smoke settled down, none of the present could honestly tell if the storm covering Snow Peak had faded away because the shadow beasts were dead or just from the wind whiplash coming from the jutsu. And for years afterwards, many scholars will also insist that Snow Peak had mysteriously sunk a little into the ground and so losing several inches in height, all without never guessing the right cause of it. Whoa, that was awesome, a new voice said with a loud laugh. Naruto, now standing alone in the middle of a huge crater, asked, dumbfounded. You okay down there? A tall creature covered in fur asked, peeking down from the rim of the hole. Yes. Are you the beast man that Zora talked about? The former shinobi answered. That is me. Need something? I see humans not often. Why human come to snows? The tall thing asked with a goofy and friendly smile. Naruto said, unsure. We're. Minna tried saying, coming short for words. You on spiritual journey? You look for true self? The beast man offered. Do we look like some group of hippies? Utsukushi said, offended. Let's go with that, yes. Naruto said, nodding. Ho. You look for long time. The beast answered with a loud laugh. Fuck you too. The former shinobi muttered between clenched teeth of a forced smile. That was joke. Yeti's joke too, If that was a joke, I am a duck. Link muttered. You look for something else? Tell truth. The Yeti said with a conspiratorial whispering. Yeah, I'm looking for a mirror, a very special one. Naruto said. You look for mirror in such faraway place. Oh, why you not say so before? But you make good climb, and very good boom. And you lucky to meet me. Really? Yes, I found shiny mirror piece. Is same mirror you look for? Does it feel evil? Link asked. Hey, Midna added, offended. To shiny, you come to house and see yourself. The beast answered, shrugging. You sure? I don't want to impose. Naruto answered, unsure. You guessed. I caught fish. I make you hot meal, at least. Where is it? The Yeti said, unperturbed, as he recovered a giant reek fish that had ended buried in snow because of the jutsu explosion. If you insist, to where? My house far away. We can slide there, Do like me. Cool me. The Yeti answered, kicking a near tree, making one of its giant frozen leaves fall down. He then balanced a foot on it and started to slowly slide down the other side of the mountain. Okay, that's a new one. Naruto admitted, amused as he laughed at the giant creature ing far away and clearly having a lot of fun. Naruto? A new voice said, making the group jump, and then rapidly turn around to see Jiraiya himself stand several feet away with both hands raised in a non-threatening way. What do you want? Midna roared as her hair rapidly formed a giant hand shining in twilight magic. Why you followed us, spy? Link added with bared teeth as he started growling menacingly. I am busy, Arrow Senate. I have a mirror shard to find. Naruto said, already with red-colored fox eyes and sharp canines. Without giving a word, the Sannin of Konoha simply disrobed until he remained completely naked. For fuck's sake, my eyes. The imp girl bellowed in disgust and looking away. Please just cover yourself and attack us. I beg you. The hero shade added, gagging. I have no weapons on me. Naruto. No seals, no handcuffs, no kunais, no shurikens, nothing. I want to talk to you. Even if shivering from the cold, the toad sage's eyes remained unmoving and locked on Naruto's ones. About what? The kind of disturbed blonde replied. Employment issue. Jiraiya replied, smirking before his thundering sneeze shook the area around them. We're some clothes, damn it. The other said, annoyed. Thanks. I mean it. Need a hand in saving Hyrule? The spy master answered, rapidly redressing. Why? Naruto asked with narrowed eyes. Telmaheim lives here. If the place gets destroyed, she too will be a victim. The old man answered, shrugging. Telmaheim. You and Telma. The blonde answered in pure shock. Being all lovey-dovey is not something reserved only to youngsters, you know? Umph. Jiraiya answered with crossed arms. And what about your village? And your orders to capture him? Midna asked, floating in front of Naruto to stand between the two men. If he has no intentions to return, and he is not a menace for the village, as he and you others have clearly stated again and again, I have no rights to drag him back. Our daimyos have no authority outside the borders of the elemental countries, so if a missing nin or similar gets in a foreign land and the rulers of said land don't want to give him back, then there is no much they can do. And even then, only me and Tsunade know you are here. But even should your whereabouts become known to somebody else, by the time they reach here, the whole population of Hyrule will have a big fat debt towards you. And I saw some pretty nasty things around here, so nobody mentally sane would waste time and resources to hunt you down here. This not considering all your friends back in Konoha, Suna, Spring, Wave, and many others that too would be against the thing and protect you. Jiraiya answered simply. And you? Link asked, still not convinced. Hey, if the brat here gets to retire, I can do that too. I've been a shinobi for way longer than him. He answered nonplussed. Retire? You. Naruto said, snorting. Shima and Fukusaku can be very convincing when they want to. I have already lost an arm against Nagato because I didn't want to really fight him. I would just do the same mistake with you. And I wasn't as attached to Nagato as I am with you. And even then, Hyrule is a nice place, Jiraiya admitted as both looked down the tall mountain and at the land below. Peaceful, isn't it? And you should have seen it before Zant and his boss started fucking things up. Naruto answered. Do you know how many shinobi wars I saw? And how many times I saw new ones almost start? You can be patriotic all you want about your village, but after a while it gets under your skin. I'm starting to enjoy sleeping without having to keep an ear open for emergency gatherings or life or death missions popping up without warning. I fear I'm getting too old for that life. And yet people will always want me to jump into the fray with a smile on my face and a song in my heart. The Toad Sannin said, sighing tiredly. And what would you do then? I always thought being a shinobi was your whole life. I can try and see if Ika can sell well here too. And should that fail, Telmaheim is always busy with her pub and the resistance, so I can help her with both things, as a barman and rebuilding here a small spy network. You saw the guards of Castletown. They are not the sharpest kunais in the pouch. Oh, I made you laugh. That's a great victory in itself for me. When you were a toddler, I loved your laugh. I loved way less changing your diapers though, but somehow Sarutobi-sensei was always mysteriously busy whenever it was time. Jiraiya said, chuckling happily. Sucks to be you. Naruto admitted, finally smiling a little. So, retirement? Age is finally catching up then, you finally admit it. I'm not that old. I can still hold myself and satisfy Telmaheim. So have it you. Arg. I didn't need that image in my head. Blah. The former Sannin of Konoha answered by very maturely sticking out his tongue. Can we trust him? Midna asked, concerned. I detected no lies, Miss Midna. Fi answered, surfacing from the sword. And what if I cannot be fooled by him, Miss Midna? He is not divine/dark magic in him, able to fool my powers. The sword spirit cut her off. Why you always get the cool toys? Jiraiya asked with a whiny, jealous tone. Because I am the hero, Naruto answered, chuckling. Gee, what now, Ero-senin? You said it. They may not want me to retire. And sure as hell they won't let you do the same. The blonde asked, unsure. They will let us, if only because we won't be there for them to stop, as I said. Hyrule has no extradition laws, and I am pretty damn sure everybody here already loves you and won't let you go without fighting. You have that kind of bloodline in you. You make friends with everybody somehow. Jiraiya answered. And what about you? Link asked, curious. I do have a plan already. I came up with it while following you others up this damn freezing mountain. A plan? In a couple of years, the terms of your exile will expire. Even if by now, it's only a matter of printed paper, as had you returned sooner than expected, they would have accepted you back immediately. We just need to wait for the terms to pass and wait for the people in charge to write you a nice, impersonal, legalese-riddled letter telling you can go back since they forgave you for your misdeeds. Okay, go on. Naruto prompted. That letter is important because it will be the legal confirmation you are no longer considered a menace to them. Once that letter gets delivered, and I will make sure nobody will know the address is here in Hyrule, you will write an answer. Make it sound angry. Make sure it clearly states you won't go back, and that the people here too won't be helpful in forcing your return. And then? Midna asked. They will be angry. They will cry. The works. I will then be all desperate looking and tell Tsunade that I will try a last time to have Naruto see reason and return to Konoha. The day after I will depart towards Hyrule, the Hokage will get a formal letter from myself, along my forehead protector, detailing my wish to retire from my shinobi job, and a list of all she will have to do to have Kakashi take my place as spy master and head of my spy network. Jiraiya finished saying, and you think Bachan will accept this? Naruto asked, worried. If she really loves the two of us, as she always admitted, then yes, she will. If she really does have our happiness at heart, she will let us go. She won't have a choice either, as we'll be outside their jurisdiction. And of all the hunter neens or mercenaries they may unleash on us, I personally know all the ones that might pose a faint challenge against me and you, if they somehow manage to catch us off guard, of course. And I know how to talk them into looking the other way and say they didn't find us. The Toad Sage answered smugly. What do you think? Naruto asked the others. I would more gladly kick him down the mountain and forget he existed. But he seems sure of what he says. Midna answered, you are the chosen of the goddesses. They will protect you if he tries something. I say we can try and trust him. Link answered, I cannot detect deceptiveness from him, master. But I am ready to face the consequences, should I be wrong. Fi added before returning inside the Master Sword. Same here. He doesn't seem to be lying. Utsukushi confirmed with narrowed eyes. So? Did I pass? Jiraiya asked, secretly dreading to not be believed. Imagine his shock when a student hugged him and remained silent, forcing the spy master to mechanically return the gesture while looking deeply surprised. I missed you. Arrow Senin. Sneef. Sniffle. Sniffle. Are you crying? The blonde asked, smiling. It's just the cold, Brad. The other answered unconvincingly. Sure it is. Where is your forehead protector? Naruto asked as the two broke the hug. Sealed away. It has not Hyrule's mark on it, so I didn't want people to misunderstand for who I am working for. Jiraiya answered, chuckling. So you are staying? And you really want to help us? Yep. So let's go before that mountain of fur starts wondering where his guest has gone. Jiraiya answered, kicking the same tree, making two other frozen leaves fall down. After you. Old men first. Naruto answered, smirking. Fuck off. The Toad Sage answered, laughing, as both jumped on a leaf to start sliding down. Up in heaven. So? What do you think? Neru asked as the three kept watching the scene. He seems to have come around. We have another warrior there to help our hero. I still suggest to make the trip from their land to Hyrule impossible once that man has done going through his charade, just to be sure some power-hungry fool won't still try something. Farer said with crossed arms. That is easy to do. We'll just make sure no boat from there will be able to sail to here, like a curse or something. Or something. She is goddess. And she says, or something. Neru muttered, sighing in defeat. Back on the mortal plane, Konoha, why you did this, Shizen? I too wanted to write to Naruto. Tsunade said with a look of betrayal. The fewer know where he is, the better, Tsunade-sama. Shizen answered without looking up from the paper she was signing while sitting at a corner of the Hokage's desk. I know that. But why writing him now? I was tired of waiting. You all seems happy to just wait for him to just forgive everybody. I instead wanted to earn his forgiveness, starting by admitting my errors, and Gara-san and his bothers thought the same. The woman answered coldly. You won't come back, right? Tsunade muttered with a low voice. You would? No. In fact, if I came back at all was mostly because he asked. I wanted to see him sit at this desk as he always said he would have done. Maybe he is happy in Hyrule. And what if I want him happy here? Tsunade said with misty eyes. Shizen didn't say a thing. She only looked up towards her straight in the eyes. I want him happy, but I want more him not angry at me. Okay, the woman said angrily. Then let's make peace. Write him all the things you hold inside. Let him know you want him to forgive you and that you want him happy even if it means he stays in Hyrule. I told him that even if it pains me, I understand should he decide to not come back. I told him that if he wants, I would secretly take a ship and pay him a visit without telling a soul where he is and without trying to attack/coerce him to force his return to Konoha. And you think he will forgive me? The other woman asked, worried. He loves you. You are his Bachan. One day he will forgive you. It is not in him to hold a grudge for so long. You think he would be angry if I too sneak out to visit him? That may be something to discuss about with him through letters. You are still the Hokage, so he may still have some doubts about your true intentions. Even if I just want to visit him in secret, I would. And you too would, Tsunade-sama. Yeah, I would be suspicious too. Let's start little, a step at a time. Some cordial letters, then more familiar ones, and then so on and on until we rebuild the trust he had on us too. Then we will see how things evolve. In secret. I know. We'll tell nobody. Nobody, I swear. Tsunade answered in annoyance. Good. Shizen said, making both return to their respective paperwork. They will still force me to call him back, you know? The Hokage said. I was not aware that Hyrule answered to the daimyos. Shizen answered with a tiny smile. What are you? PFT ha 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 ha. Then my hands are tied. If whoever rules Hyrule doesn't want to give back Naruto, then we cannot force the issue without causing a diplomatic incident. Tsunade said, breaking into her first fit of laughter since Naruto's banishment. And something tells me Naruto-kun has already befriended enough people for that to happen. Shizen answered with a happy laugh herself. That he does. Should we register it as a bloodline? Somehow I think very few people would have something to say against that. The Hokage's assistant replied, smirking. You think he's okay in there? I really hope he is having fun in Hyrule, Tsunade wondered, sighing. I hope so as well, Tsunade-sama. Shizen answered, sighing as well. Back in Hyrule, Jiraiya yelled, laughing as he and Naruto rode the frozen leaves like snowboards down the mountain towards the Yeti's house. Ha ha ha. This is fucking awesome. The blonde yelled happily as he raced with the Toad Sage for who would finish first. Wait for me, Midna said in third place while chasing the two. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast. Kaawea. Link instead screamed in fear as his wolf body made it almost impossible for him to drive the leaf the way he wanted, or even just slowing down. Yes, Naruto was also having fun while saving Hyrule, lots of it. I'll make one. Jiraiya's Hyrule misadventures. The drunk bed incident. Hyrule Castletown. Telma's bar. I feel betrayed. Naruto said gloomily as he drank his pint. It is not betrayal, honey. I already knew he had your best interests in mind. He was just misguided a little. Telma answered with a gentle tone as she served two new glasses at Naruto and Jiraiya's table. At least do not be angry at Telma. She is innocent in this, Jiraiya said with a sad smile. Oh, fine. I won't hold it against her. The blonde said, huffing. Good. Then let's drink at the rebirth of our relationship as teacher-student duo. The Toad Sage said happily. Do not drink too much. At your age, getting drunk is very bad. Midna said, smirking as she joined the two with her own glass accompanied by Ilya. Oi, I can drink the lot of you under the table, you bunch of brats. Jiraiya answered affronted. Yeah. Oh. It is so on. The Toad Sage said, emptying his glass in a single gulp. Very well. Place your bets, people. Who will win? The foreigner or our blonde hero? Telma said aloud as sacks of rupees immediately started amassing on her counter, along bets being hastily written down by the woman's Goron bouncer. At that, Naruto, Ilya, Midna, Jiraiya, and Link started chugging down Hylian beer as fast as they could with determined expressions on the faces. The next day, oh, my head, it's killing me. Jiraiya groaned in agony as he found himself sleeping on a pile of hay in a stable. Where am I? And why my mouth tastes like carrots and hay? He said with a pained moan. Niai. A near horse answered, rubbing his head against the old man's cheek in a very affectionate manner. Oh, you are awake. Here is your 20 rupees, just like we decided, the owner of both stable and horse said, helping Jiraiya to his feet. Rupees? Why? He asked, confused. I never thought somebody would have really kissed a horse. But you did it. Ah, it was awesome, let me tell you. The man answered amused. H. Jiraiya said shocked while the horse kept nibbling his hair in affection. Telma's bar. Hidden rooms underground. 30 seconds later. Ka. The Toad Sage horrified scream resounded clearly even in the hidden rooms, waking everybody sleeping there. What the? Naruto said groggily as he opened his eyes for an instant before immediately closing them in agony for his new lethal headache. SSSSSH. I already have my ass feeling sore. I don't want a headache on top of that. Midna whispered, burying her head under the covers. Me too, Ilya added, yawning. Wow, we did drink a lot then. I wonder what happened to Erosenin and Link. Shut up and let me sleep. Ashe muttered, hugging the blonde closer to herself with her face tightly pressed on his abs. Don't care, the other two naked girls replied, soon returning to sleep. I am sleepy. Just cuddle with me and shut up. Utsukushi added, a drunken foursome plus mind sex inside the seal. It could have gone worse. The blonde said, smiling before he too returned to sleep. With Link, and I keep telling you that I don't remember. The hero shade said in distress. You said you loved me. You took my virginity, you asshole. Telma's cat yelled in answer, making the hangover wolf cringe in pain. Goddesses help me. Link muttered while looking at the sky. I'll make two, Prince Rallis' decision. Chronologically, it takes place the day after Naruto and Jiraiya climbed Snow Peak. It's a joke. It doesn't influence the plot. The Zora prince felt conflicted. He had feelings for a certain blonde shinobi, but both were male, and even if there was nothing wrong in that, he knew Naruto would not return his feelings because he preferred girls. But still, he held feelings for Naruto, and so he decided to hold them for himself, to keep them secret. My child. That night, though, his beloved mother appeared in his dream with a gentle, and yet almost mischievous, smile on her face. Mother, I may have the solution to your dilemma. The dead queen of the Zora said. My dilemma? Rallis said, unsure. Having a chance with your human hunk, the queen answered, giggling at the prince's blush. How? There is a sacred pound hidden behind the throne room. In case of great emergencies, it can be used to switch the gender of whoever bathes there. It is used in case the ratio male-female is not good enough to maintain our tribe. But beware, the change cannot be undone. She answered, I'll do it. Rallis said after a long pause of thought. Really? Oh. To be honest, honey, I always wanted a daughter. The queen answered happily. Oh. Rallis said, scandalized. I still love you dearly, don't worry. So, are you ready? The dead woman answered, laughing. Tell me everything, mother. The day Naruto and Jiraiya came down from Snow Peak. Damn, that was a hard trip. The Toad Sage said, cracking his back with a groan. Consider that this is not the first time something like that happens to us. Erosenin. Naruto answered, stretching a little. Yep, you have all my respect for that, brat. Naruto, I love you. A more feminine version of Rallis' voice said as SHE neared the group. Rallis? The blonde said, shocked. Yes, it is me. The princess said as she now had a more curvy body, reddish in color, making her look more similar to the dead queen. What does the bitch want now? Midna asked with narrowed eyes. What do you mean I love you? Naruto instead asked while ignoring the imp girl's growl. I want to stay with you. I am in love with you. Rallis answered. I am touched, but it's okay. I'm no longer a male. I'm a girl. Look, I have tits. Rallis answered, opening the front of her blouse to flash her perky and pretty big breast to him. And kinda sexy, even if covered in scale-like skin, to be honest. Bull, you got girls to randomly flash you as well? You got it good here in Hyrule. Jiraiya said, proud and laughing as he patted Naruto's back. Kaiwaya. Only then, finally noticing Jiraiya's presence there, Rallis shrieked while hastily covering her breast and hide behind Naruto. Pervert. She then shrieked, making every guard around the area ready their weapon. The pervert stole a glance at the royal tits. Kill him. The captain of the guards yelled, making dozens of Zora rain on Jiraiya. Why it's always me? The Toad Sage yelled in despair as he ran away, followed by the bloodthirsty horde. Naruto, you are so warm. I like it. Rallis muttered hotly as she rubbed her chest on his back and covered his neck in little kisses. Oh God. The blonde muttered in dread. I wonder if she is underage or not. Link muttered, curious. Hands down. Midna yelled, furious as she forced the two apart. I didn't need this. ISO didn't need this. Naruto muttered, groaning as Princess Rallis and Midna started arguing animatedly. He almost envied Jiraiya. At least once outrun the guards' problem would have been resolved. He instead feared that things will go on for a long time now that Rallis too joined the battle for his skin. I'll make 3. Hunting assortment. This is my way to help Phoenix Warehouse Productions challenge to go around. Give it a look in his profile on my stories page. It is worth it, trust me. It's good fanfic material. Carrot. Teams RWBY and J. NPR were depressed. No, scratch that. They were fucking dead inside. If you were wondering why they were that depressed, it was all because they couldn't find their old friend John Arc, the dork night vomit boy. They called him with many friendly pet names, always laughing at his desperate expression whenever they refused vehemently and childishly to use his proper name, no matter his whining and nagging. And in that resided the crux of the problem. Friendly, they were his friends and companions, and they could not be there for him when he needed them the most. Now, they had to add former leader of Team J, NPR, and former friend of Team RWBY to the list of titles John could say to have, all because they could not side with him. All because of their actions, or better, inaction they took regarding their friend. They had chosen to simply stand by and didn't try to help him, not even after the truth of his transcripts came out. They did nothing. Not even when his father disowned him for being a disgrace to the family. It should have been no surprise that after being ignored by everyone he cared for, he simply vanished. And that had all happened 10 long months ago. Unknown position and status. Until they finally had a clue as to where he went, several experts tasked by puzzling out what happened had finally found traces of a dust explosion in John's locker. After that, a very pissed-drunk Carden was heard crying about how he didn't mean to kill Ark once hit his 3rd bottle. The guy had apparently just wanted to drive the disgraced young man from the school for some convoluted plot about revenge, envy, or some other meaningless reasons. What they knew was that somehow Carden had mixed enough dust in John's locker to create a small bomb that went off when he opened it. What they could not fully explain was how in the name of heaven the thing managed to send him to another reality altogether. They simply accepted that it did it and then left the headache to whoever wanted to see why it actually happened. They had simply mixed enough dust to not only take a group of volunteers, Team JNPR, to him, but also bring them all back once found the missing boy. But even after 4 long months of looking everywhere, they still couldn't him. They had split up to cover more ground in the strange land they found themselves in once arrived, and still could not see hair or hide of John no matter what they did. They even tried using their phones to track down John's aura, but to their surprise it led them to 2 different men, one named Naruto and the other named Ruzzle, and both were actually too old to be the man they were looking for, as one in his 20s while the other was above the 30 years of age. They could not even start imagining that time could flow differently in the land they had landed on. Even if for them, it was only 10 months since John had disappeared. For the young man, it had been 20 long years in which he changed his name and had even married. They met John and his family and never realized it. But sure as hell he did recognize them all right when he had met them. Only now he was called Ruzzle, and he was only known as Swordsman of Orden Village and former captain of the guard for the royal family. With Ruzzle and Naruto, Ruzzle home, Orden Village, for Suck Sake Man. You can't hunt them down. Yes, I can instead, Naruto. They may use Colin to force me to go back. While both men were animatedly arguing between themselves, with Ruzzle wife and Jiraiya trying to placate both, Midna and Ilya instead were sitting outside the house. The young Hylian girl looking worried, while the Twily imp instead was clearly more bored than interested in what was happening inside. I don't like this interruption. We still have a mirror to find, she said, annoyed. This is important, Midna. Ilya countered, huffing. No, you can't skin them alive. I am sure there is a law against that. They heard Naruto scream, enraged. I expected you to side with me in this. The same happened to you after all. Ruzzle answered with a betrayed tone. I see it as something more like filler, to be honest. As if we needed to reach a certain number of words to close a chapter of a story. Midna, Ilya said with a defeated sigh. Just saying. But of course, if this was a written story, I would so be the main character, with our Naruto as my love interest. Midna said, smirking. And what about me? Ilya asked with narrowed eyes. Side character, one of those people don't care about. Or the childhood friend that dies horribly at the very beginning, without even a line of dialogue. Bitch, the Hylian girl muttered, grumbling. Honey, please calm down. They heard Ruzzle wife plea with a worried tone. Don't tell me to calm down. You don't know those people. They will hurt you even if pregnant. The swordsman replied, growling. About that. For how long does that woman plan to stay pregnant? She looks like in her 9th month, but it has been weeks since I met you others, and she is still pregnant. Midna asked, confused. I honestly can't tell. I have always remembered her looking like that. Ilya answered, unsure. So she is just fat? No. She is pregnant. I call bullshit. She is not that Bonnie woman from Family Guy that took over 100 episodes to give birth. Is she waiting for some giant epilogue or something? That seems like something a doctor should check. The imp girl replied, Family Guy? We have cable and Netflix in the Twilight Realm. She answered, shrugging. Ow, come on. It's unfair. We only have goats here. Ilya answered, whining. Sucks to be you. Put that down. Put that thing down right this instant. Naruto bellowed. Noise soon followed by the one of a body tackling another on the ground. I just want to pull their skeleton out of their nose. Naruto, and I want to stop you from doing just that. And why you have something to do that hidden under your kitchen floor? Self-defense. Bullshit. He seems pretty adamant in enacting revenge. Minna said, impressed. Mr. Ruzzle can be very determined if he wants to. All this because he falsified a report, though? Ilya asked. It depends. He didn't want to go into details, but kicking him out and disowning him seems a little harsh to do just for that. Unless he wanted to hide or force out something big, and in the latter case, someone important didn't want their dirty affairs to come out. Midna answered as in the meantime, the two friends kept arguing loudly. Give me that battle hammer. Give me that. No. Give me that, I said. Okay. Phoenix. The axe too. Okay. And the bow. An arrow. Naruto said, making the other grumble and comply. Ruzzle? The flail too. Both of them. I was just holding them for collection purposes. I won't even consider that as a proper answer. What are you hiding behind that curtain? Nothing. Rusl. Fine. It's nothing too dangerous here. That's a Twilight cannon for fuck's sake. Why do you even have one? Souvenir. Are you SL? Where does he keep all that stuff? Minna asked, curious. He has a very big basement. Ilya answered, shrugging. How the hell did you weaponize Gainon's laundry? Better yet, why? How did you even get that? Everything went silent, as even the women looked both curious and disturbed. That would be my fault. I was trying to get Zelda's panties for a bet, and the crazy woman ended chasing me around the castle and surrounding town. The first thing she did, though, was throwing Gainon's laundry hamper at me. And the guy should have better care of his hygiene, because I managed to knock out a Goron with a pair of his socks. The smell is almost tangible. Jiraiya said, finally talking instead of simply sit there in silence. That is the how, but I want to know why. Naruto asked again. To me, all is fair if it's used to defend my family here. And I have a proper laundry cannon hidden under the couch for that. Ruzzle answered stubbornly. It was then that a lightning bolt fell from the cloudless sky to pierce the house and incinerate the pile of dirty laundry. We, the goddesses of Hyrule, cannot condone the use of WMD in our turf. Cut this shit out and stop using hazardous stuff. It stinks. 3 voices boomed from the sky at a deafening volume before falling completely silent. See? We were not the only ones saying it was a bad idea. And by the way, I am sure that your family will understand why you did it if you explain to them. Jiraiya tried saying, my family on the other world. They all turned their backs at me. All of them. Even my sisters. You have sisters? Naruto asked, surprised. I have 7 sisters. Wow. And you have not PTSD? Jiraiya asked, impressed. No. Ido. They used to dress me up to be the 8th sister. Among other scarring things that had me question myself a little too much. All my respect then for surviving that. But you still can't kill your former friends. Naruto answered. Hypocrite. What? I left them behind, yes. But I never planned to kill them. Naruto answered, scandalized. Well, I want it instead. Even just to protect my wife and children. Here we go. They're starting from the beginning. Midna said, sighing in frustration. Should we intervene? Ilya asked, unsure. Let them vent. When they're tired, they will stop. The other said, uninterested. Okay. And you others can go. We'll call you when the main story continues. For now, we have this small issue to fix before that. Ilya added with an apologetic tone as the scene switched focus. With Team JMPR somewhere in Hyrule. Where are you, John? Come on. We just want to talk. We are sorry. Nora muttered with a sad expression as she looked at the vast land in front of her. We'll find him. Have no fear. We will explain to him that we are trying to find out how things went for Real instead of blindly believing him to be culprit. Lyran answered with a reassuring tone as the trio of girls stopped to rest. Two positive matches and both are wrong in age, build of the body, or other details. You think John did it? Pyrrha asked, unsure. Unlikely. I didn't know you could create false positives artificially. Maybe we just found two people close to this place's version of John. I find it more likely. Lai answered. Still, we need to find him. Even just to hear from him what really happened. We need to hear his side of the story for this mess to be fixed. Nora said, looking down. Team RWBY will soon join us. Since we are taking this long, they will enact Plan B and have two teams to look for him. I am just happy it will be them and not somebody more eager to punish John. Pyrrha added. Yes. In the meantime, though, I say we try again in Hyrule Castletown. I think that barwoman Telma may know something. Lai said, standing up. Yes. The other two girls answered as they rapidly followed her back in the small town. They never realized that every time they asked Russell about their friend John, he would briefly look angry and afraid. Angry at their betrayal and afraid of what they wanted. Too much to even try and hear them out. The man was by now too deep in his paranoia and dreading they would take him back to serve a prison sentence without even listening to his reasons to actually try and explain his reasons. And most of all, he was terrified that the Arcs would take his son Colin away from him. He would do whatever it was in his power to stay with his new family. Unfortunately for Team RWBY and Team JNPR, any love he had for them was long since dead and could probably never return. I am making a huge mistake. Oh, I'm making a damn big one. Shizen muttered to herself as she clutched to her chest her letter for Naruto, along the one written by Tsunade herself. Hey there, Shizen-san, Kankuro said, with a perfect surprised expression as he seemed to be meeting the woman by chance. Good morning, Kankuro. Shizen answered with a small bow and a tense smile. How are you? The puppet user asked as he discreetly took the letters from Shizen to pocket them once sure nobody was looking. Not well. Why? He asked, confused. You'll see. She answered, giving a meaningful look to the young man's pocket. What do you? Oh shit, Kankuro said before going pale at seeing the extra letter. Help? Shizen said with a weak smile. Sigh. I will ask Gara and Temari to check that nothing is out of ordinary. Is the only way they will be open even just to consider the idea. Thank you. Later that day, Kazakage's office. Suna, you understand what I am asking you? Gara said with narrowed eyes to the man standing in front of him. Oh. It's for helping Naruto? Then my lips are sealed. The courier ninja, wearing a plaque with 596-03 written on it, answered amused. Why am I not surprised he even befriended the courier nins? Kankuro muttered, groaning. Temari simply answered with a coughing fit, strangely sounding like bloodline limit. So it will be a delivery off the records? Gara asked. Never had a harder time delivering something like when the Stillabrat guy decided to try and stop me, but it was also the funniest delivery I had in ages. So for this time I can make an exception and do as you ask. The courier answered, nodding. Good. Our contact for Hyrule will wait for you here with her boat. Give her the parcel and come back here to inform me of your success. I will deny every involvement should you be intercepted, and I demand the messages to be destroyed at the risk of your life should that happen. The Kazakage ordered while pointing at the map opened on his desk. It's the standard procedure. We couriers take our job very seriously, Kazakage-sama. The man replied with a cold expression. I hope so, for your well-being. I shall take my leave then. The letters won't send themselves. The courier said with a stiff bow before taking the letters of Gara and his brothers, Shizen and Tsunade, the latter having somehow survived the hundreds of overly zealous safety checks and tests the very paranoid Kazakage demanded, and then leaving the office in great hurry. So her letter is safe? Gara asked. Yes. For the 1000th time, yes. Temari yelled in frustration. I still say we should have copied it, just in case there was something in the paper. The Kazakage replied stubbornly, secretly shocking his brothers with how childish he almost sounded. We ran too many tests on the paper alone, Gara. We have left barely enough space for the text once done. Kankuro answered, sighing. And copying it in our handwriting would have been rude. At least like that Tsunade-san will sound more believable. Temari added. I'm still not convinced yet. Gara muttered defiantly. Ewan. The other two growled, pinching the bridge of their nose in frustration. I thank God he is a male, otherwise I would have feared Gara going yander on Naruto. The puppet user muttered. Me too. I can hear you. The Kazakage said calmly, and without lifting his eyes from the papers he was reading. EP. Unknown to them, The red-haired girl governing the ship waiting for the courier ninja giggled mischievously as she received the envelopes, making herself and the ship disappear into sparks of light as soon as the courier was too far away to notice. My little hero of power, a little present for you. No waiting for mailing. Din Sing sang happily as she made the letters disappear and reappear already in the satchel of Hyrule's own postman with the correct address already written in Hylian, all for his confusion about the extra luggage. Din, hurry up. I can't hold her down by myself. Faror yelled as she struggled to keep Nehru pinned down. Sigh. Always the quiet ones. He is busy now. Wait until he is done with the mirror shard before harassing him. The goddess of power answered annoyed before joining her sister in holding down the goddess of wisdom. Meanwhile, Snow Peak Mountain, near the peak, Snow Peak ruins, Sheeing. Whoa. It's like my first mission in Snow Country. It's fucking awesome. Jiraiya yelled laughing as he and Naruto kept riding a frozen leaf each like a snowboard down Snow Peak at ludicrous speed. Feeling young all of a sudden? Naruto asked as he passed in front of the ex-spy master of Konoha with a smirk. Screw you, Brad. I'm having fun. The other answered. Make room, slowpokes. Midna yelled as she passed like a blur near the two, thus finishing first their small race to the bottom. It's unfair. You are smaller and lighter. Both former shinobi yelled as one. L'Suzers. She answered amused as she skidded to a halt few seconds before them. Where's that talking wolf paw of yours? Jiraiya asked as he and Naruto finally stopped with their leaves breaking apart in shards as soon as they stepped away from them. Link? Naruto asked confused. Yep, Kaya. The answer came as a bullet of golden fur as the hero shade's own leaf disintegrated under him too, soon making him roll down by himself for the remaining distance in a big snowball. The two could barely dodge in time and watch crash against the near wall. Maybe you should use the spinner next time, at least that you can control. Naruto offered. I'll take note of that. The wolf answered as he finally dug his way out from under the pile of snow he was buried under. You okay? Jiraiya asked. Yes, thank you. So, the Beastman's home? Link asked. It should be close. Naruto answered, walking forward and soon stopping abruptly in shock as soon as the Beastman's house came into full view of the group. Here? What's with this guy? He's got a nice place. For a Beastman. Midna said, equally surprised. Well, if even Beastmen get to have a palace, then I am even more sure I will transfer here in Hyrule for my retirement. Jiraiya said, amused, once seeing the imposing manner the tall creature guided he and Naruto to. Oh, it doesn't look like well-maintained, though. The place is falling apart. Naruto answered as he knocked on the door until it opened by itself. He was waiting for us. Jiraiya answered, shrugging as he strolled inside. True. Sorry the intrusion. Both said as soon as they entered. What? Midna asked, common courtesy back in the elemental nations. Naruto answered, chuckling. I have a bad feeling about this place. Utsukushi said, sighing. Ah, who's talking? I am making sure the furball is heard by you too, old man. Midna answered to Jiraiya's surprised expression. Oh, thanks. But why you have a bad feeling about this? The Toad Sage asked aloud. It feels like any other dungeon we saw before, and I fear that this time too we will fight for the object we seek. The Ten-Tailed Vixen answered. What do you mean? Magic relics from the Twilight world are extremely powerful, and their nature too alien for the beings of this world. If you add to that the remnants of whatever evil power Zant possesses, it is no surprise that whoever touches those gets corrupted. And since in order to break the mirror of Twilight, it would take an absurd amount of power if you are not entitled to it. I can only guess how bad things will get. Midna explained, sighing, appreciating the gentle smile of her companion Naruto, lifting her spirit considerably. Missy, I am sure Naruto himself already told you, but just because the shards corrupt now, it doesn't mean the whole mirror too used to have that effect in the past. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been used up until now. Jiraiya offered. As you said, it may very well be Zant's influence on the pieces. Naruto added encouragingly. It won't stop people from having issues. And are we really sure it was Zant's doing? Midna asked. If you ask me, yes. I can believe your world to be a nice place. And the others? Screw the others. He answered, smirking. Oh, brat. Jiraiya said, chuckling amused. Miss Midna, I heard the stories about the Twilight Realm, I heard them all while in my personal limbo and waiting for the next hero to come. And then I came to know you. I don't see in you the monsters, legends, and stories talked about. So I too am open to believe it is not the influence of the Twilight magic itself if you saw people get corrupted. Entranced by them? Probably. But corrupted? No, I don't believe it. Link added with a gentle tone. See, we're all saying the same thing. So, shall we continue our exploration? Naruto offered, pointing at the door closer to them. You sure that is the right door? Jiraiya asked while scratching his hair in confusion. I don't think he is waiting for us upstairs, the other replied, shrugging. Be careful, some parts of the floor seem frozen. Link said, pointing at the thick layer of ice covering a great deal of the floor. With a hole in the ceiling that big, I am not surprised. Midna muttered while watching the huge hole that left sunlight and cold enter. Hello? Sorry the intrusion. Naruto said, opening the door and sighing happily at the welcoming warmth of the lighted fireplace on the other side of the room. Who? A female voice asked weakly. Shit, I thought it was a coat. Utsukushi gasped in surprise as the coat, resting in front of the fire, moved to show a petite female figure. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there, Naruto said with a small smile. Guests? The female yeti asked, curious. Yep, miss. A tall fellow invited us here, Jiraiya answered. Yito? She asked, coughing a little. What name is Yito? Even? Midna muttered, curious. Yes, but are you okay? Naruto asked, concerned. Sorry, I have sickness, The female yeti answered, coughing once more. I guess we found out why our beastman friend catches reekfish. It's very healthy, so he is trying to heal her. Link explained with a low voice. Can we help in some way? Naruto asked, moving closer to her. I sick. Why you come closer? She asked, surprised. I never catch cold, the blonde said, smirking as he sat next to her. You lucky. But, cute little human. Husband told me you come. You want to look at mirror? The female yeti asked, curious. Love is blind, all right. She's a cute little thing. But her husband? Ugh, Utsukushi. The young man said, scandalized. Just saying. As long as they are happy, it is not my business. Better. My husband found it, but a pretty thing, The yeti said with a longing sigh. I have a bad feeling about that sigh. Jiraiya muttered with narrowed eyes. Me too. Link confirmed, nodding. But, since I get mirror, I get sick and then bad monsters appear. So many bad things happen since mirror. The small creature said, unsure. Xant's power is corrupting the mirror and that aura is attracting monsters, Midna said in realization. And I fear it also try to corrupt her. That's why she is sick. She also continued, saying, projecting her thoughts inside the others' minds. Withdrawal? Naruto tried saying. Very likely. The imp girl answered. So, we locked bedroom on 3rd floor where it hangs, The yeti finished saying. It was a good idea. That thing is dangerous, Jiraiya said as he too finally walked closer to the creature. Dangerous? Very. The spy master answered, nodding. Yito okay? She asked, concerned. Yito is, but you were sick. You looked inside that mirror too much, Naruto said. Mirror's so pretty, but dangerous to Yito and Yeta? Then I tell you where key is, Yeta said, worried. Thank you, Yeta, Midna said with a grateful smile. Take map on wall. I will point where key is, She answered, nodding as the small piece of parchment was moved closer to her. Fever makes head blurry, but it probably here in this room. But now I can't get up. Would you bring it to me, The small yeti said, pointing in an isolated room with a small, delicate hand popping out from under her fur coat. We will check it. Do not force yourself. You are still sick. You should rest and wait for us here. We will tell you if the key was there, Jiraiya offered with a gentle smile. Thank you. Start from door right there, she answered, pointing at the door behind her seat with a weak nod of her head. We will be back soon, Miss Yeta. Talking wolf? I never seen one, you pretty, Yeta answered with a faint giggle. Oh, well, thank you, the hero shade answered shyly as the group moved through the door in what looked like being the kitchen of the mansion. Hyrule Ruins? Kitchen area. You. The tall snowman Yito greeted happily the group from behind the titanic cauldron he was trafficking with. Ietu. Sorry if we are late, Naruto said with a cheerful wave of his hand. We met your wife. She looks out of shape, Jiraiya added with a sad smile. Wife? Look bad, Not healthy since mirror. So I make soup for her, Yito answered, sighing. That's surprisingly romantic considering who we are talking with, Utsukushi said, impressed. Then she will recover in no time. Naruto answered with a thumbs up. Yep. Fish from Zora Village are most nutritious. You tired, You have some. It give you energy. Yito offered, proudly pointing at his creation. Do not worry, that will help Yeta recover, so she should eat it the most, Jiraiya answered, chuckling. That true, crash. Who's there? Naruto yelled as a sudden noise sent him, Yito and the rest of the group, on high alert. You know, friend, you sneak inside uninvited. You come out now. Yito roared. I am harmless. I am harmless. A high-pitched voice said as something resembling a bird with a long neck and a human-like face shyly walked out from behind a series of pots and vases piled in a corner PF the kitchen. I was just stuck inside a vase. The small thing said rapidly. What the fuck is that thing? Jiraiya asked, looking disturbed. I don't know, never met it before. Naruto answered. Gracious. You are that nice fellow who helped me out of the Goron mines. How nice to see you again. The small thing said happily. I helped you? How? Naruto asked with narrowed eyes. You destroyed every door. It has been very easy to leave the place without having to worry about doors and keys. It replied happily. You demolished every door? The spy master asked, smirking. Shut up. Arrow Senin. I just didn't want to waste time looking for keys. The blonde answered, blushing. He does that in every dungeon we meet, apparently. Link added, making him blush redder. Well, now that we found each other again, let's stick together for a bit, The thing said as it ran towards the group to then jump on Jiraiya's shoulder to sit there. Unfair. You have a cuter rider on your shoulder. The older shinobi whined petulantly. Thank you, I know I am fabulous. Midna replied, preening. I will ignore that comment, darling. My name is Uku, and I will be right with you. So if you others want to warp out of the dungeon and return where you were, just let me know. Uku said proudly. What? The small thing asked, confused at the intense stare he got from the others. If you warp, how you get stuck in Goron mines and vases I took from Zora? Yito asked. If I panic, I can't warp. And I panic easy if I am alone. Uku admitted with a red face. Seems legit. Midna said, shrugging. Whatever. Let's go. The key to the mirror won't find itself. Jiraiya said, sighing as he moved towards the door. I need to watch Soup. You be careful with monsters outside. Yito said as he returned to his cauldron. Aye, aye. The others replied, moving in the next room. Next room? So, what do we have here? Jiraiya said with a thoughtful expression as he noticed the curious setup of the room. Seems kind of straightforward. The middle of the room is frozen, and there are 2 pressure plates along 2 giant cubes of rock. My best guess is that we need to have them keep the button pressed by making them slid on the ice until they get in position. Link answered, unsure. Okay, let's play it smart. I say we first move the one on the FWOSH. What Jiraiya was saying went cut short when a thick burst of flames hot enough to melt rock flared to life in front of him, melting the ice and turning the cubes of rock red hot. Midna-chan, would you kindly? Naruto asked, smirking. Too easy, darling. The imp girl answered with a similar smirk as she snapped her fingers, making the rocks float in the air, and then slammed down on the pressure plates, activating the 2 of them, thus opening the other 2 doors in the room. I feel like that we shouldn't cheat like that, Jiraiya said, unsure. Every darn time. Link muttered with a tired sigh. Too boring. Next room. Naruto answered as he walked towards the now unlocked door in front of him, while humming. Who designed these places? You can't have pressure plates, puzzles, and the like in your house. It's insane. Utsukushi asked, shaking her head sadly. Whoever it was, I hope it is only a thing here in Hyrule. Naruto answered, sighing. In another world, Arkley Mountains. Mansion in the middle of a patch of forest. The floor will be completed in a week, and the sewer system will be linked to Raccoon City's one immediately after once resolve the leakage. We also finished adding the knight statues on the 2nd floor and finally fixed the lighting in the painting room. But, the head architect said, turning soon unsure. Yes? I know I shouldn't question my orders. Yes? The man asked again with narrowed eyes. Wouldn't all the traps and puzzles make it hard to navigate the mansion? The architect asked, worried. It is a security measure in itself. The man bellowed, offended. But you cannot expect somebody to find the right gem. Remember to bring the night key. Play the correct tune, and then remember the right passage in Shakespeare's Hamlet to finish the sentence on the wall. Just to go to the staff bathroom. The poor man answered, disturbed. Silence, you fool. I am sorry. I am sorry. You better be. Now do as I asked and add the dance puzzle. Match the picture puzzle and then mix the right compound puzzle to the kitchen fridge. Somebody has stolen my Cheerios again, and it needs to stop. Yes, Mr. Weskier, as you command. The architect answered scared while hurrying away. Nobody touches my Cheerios. Nobody. The other man hissed dangerously as he too left the kitchen. Back to Naruto, Hyrule, small courtyard. Let's see. Naruto said while looking around the small courtyard they found themselves in once left the puzzle room, while behind him, Jiraiya struggled to free a window of ice enough to pass through it and join him. Digging under the wall, as a fox is cheating by the way, the spy master muttered pouting as he finally managed to join the blonde. Then go on a diet and pass through the same small hole in the wall I found arrow sinin. The other replied as he found what he was looking for. There it is, the tower holding the bedroom. You sure? Jiraiya asked curious. Trust me, the giant lock is a clear giveaway. Link answered pointing with a paw to the heavily bolted door they could see from their position. The fact that the lock is heart-shaped is kind of cute though. Midna added, Yep, what does the compass say? Where is the key? Midna asked, it should be close. The blonde answered once looked at the small thing. A pity the thing doesn't tell exactly where the stuff we are looking for is. Utsukushi grumbled in annoyance. It would have been too easy otherwise, look at it like this. Jiraiya answered with a reassuring tone. Nobody asked you, old man. Fuck you too? He answered huffing. If you two have quite done, we have found a way to enter the other side. Link said, making both fall silent. Roar. And we also found some friends. Naruto added as he jumped to the side to dodge the two ice-made wolves trying to pounce on him. Bad boy. Jiraiya yelled in anger as he moved his long hair as a whip to turn the third one, jumping him to shreds. Did you see that? I still got it, wooden arm or not? He then said smugly. Yeah. Awesome. The blonde answered nonplussed as he grabbed his two attackers to slam their heads at both sides of a third one's, making all three wolves explode in shards of ice. Very awesome. Midna added yawning as her zone paralyzed other two wolves for her hair-hand giant fist to squash against a wall. You shouldn't downplay other people's achievements. Right, Link? Is what the fuck? What? Link asked curious from the top of the small mountain of defeated ice wolves he was sitting on. Nothing. Forget it. The old man answered sniffling. Come on, here is the door. Naruto called out from the opposite side of the courtyard while pointing at the only ice-free door of the area. Compass points this way. More or less, we will deal with the walls of ice later. Midna added, coming. Both Toad Sage and Hero Shade answered as one as they joined the others inside. Growling. Several high-pitched growls welcomed them as soon as they entered, as various eyes locked on them in hatred. Are those enemies? Jiraiya asked as the small balls of ice, with a single evil red, I kept glaring at them without moving. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Naruto answered uncertain. They are evil. Just not threatening, Peresi. Link answered, gently pushing one with a paw and watching it slowly slid on the frozen floor, ricochet against the wall, and return only for the shade to step to the side and watch it keep moving without control around the small hallway they were in. Talk. The fun part was one that monster collided with the others, giving start to a rather adorable chain reaction of small ice monsters, slowly bouncing from the walls in random patterns. Grr! The small creatures kept growling menacingly as they bounced against the walls and each other while trying to hit the heroes, with said heroes calmly stepping over or to the side to dodge them. It was all very anticlimactic. Not very creative as an obstacle. Naruto answered as he kicked one away, making it break to pieces against the wall. Hey, I guess Zan had to do with what he had, and he had just some ice. Cut the poor bastard some slack. Jiraiya answered as he and the others copied the blonde, soon freeing the room from monsters. If you say so. There, those are more menacing-looking monsters. Naruto answered as in the next room, they found two very tall humanoid creatures made of ice with a very thin head waiting for them. One of them actually covering the only door out with a thick grate to force them to fight. Ah! Chilfos, I heard about them. Those are ice spirits, often used as guards. Link said in interest as the creatures generated long spears of ice in their hands as soon as they saw the group enter. Are they a threat? Utsukushi asked as the ice soldiers slowly circled them. Not too much, but they can still fight well both at long and short distance. Fire? Jiraiya said. Fire. Naruto replied smirking. I don't think you should. Ketan, Karyuenden. Fire element. Fire dragon flame missile. Both shinobi ran through hand seals as fast as they could and took in enough air to make their chests swell to inhuman sizes before blowing out an awe-inspiring ocean of white-hot flames, incinerating everything in its path. They kept the jutsu going for a few seconds before stopping. So to show a room completely red in superheated stone-made walls with a blocked door having been literally vaporized by the sea of fire. Okay, maybe we overdid a little, Naruto said, chuckling as he saw the walls melt a little under the huge heat the two had summoned. We are cheating, oh so much, Midna said, chuckling mirthful. Who cares? Utsukushi asked, smirking. Very well, let's hope it won't take too long for everything to cool down. Then we will recover the key, as Miss Yetta asked us to. Link answered, sighing in defeat. He was sure their adventure wasn't supposed to go like that. He really hoped the goddesses wouldn't mind. We don't, Din said, shrugging as she and her sisters kept watching from the heavens. 2 hours later, kitchen area. Yito was still slaving behind the huge pot as he studied a new batch of soup, since the first one didn't get the desired effect of making Yetta eat it willingly, forcing the tall creature to eat the whole thing by himself, so to start a new soup from the beginning. Last one was good, but no good enough for Yetta. Soup still lacking flavor. But what flavor? He muttered to himself, as while the first version had been good in his opinion, it was still not enough to help his beloved wife get better. Try this, Naruto said with a dry tone, as he threw an Orden pumpkin to the beast man that barely managed to grab it in time before it could hit his face. Pumpkin. Ooh, pumpkin looks nice idea. But where do you get pumpkin? Yetta gave us the wrong direction. Midna answered, hissing in contempt. She is sick, so maybe she got confused. Let's try asking her again. Jiraiya offered, sighing. You do that, Yito will work on soup instead. Yito will eat this time. You can try it once ready too if you want. Yito said with a happy smile as he tried again to cook the perfect soup. With Yetta, oh, young human. You find Kia? The small thing asked, curious. Nope. We found a pumpkin, but at least Yito is happy, so it won't be wasted. Naruto answered, sighing. I still don't get why the compass was wrong. Midna muttered, confused. It technically wasn't. It pointed us towards the treasure in that area, and the pumpkin was in a chest. So technically for them it counted as a treasure if they had put it in there. Link guessed, unsure. Pumpkin? Why there? Makes no sense. Yetta said, confused. Probably Yito wanted to make it a surprise for you, and kept it hidden there. Jiraiya offered, shrugging. I like pumpkin. Yito very sweet. Yetta answered with a faint giggle. That he is. Naruto answered, smiling. But no good, You need key. Where I leave it? The snow woman muttered, unsure. Here is the map. Jiraiya offered. Gentle. Try this room here. She answered, pointing at a new room. We'll be back soon. Naruto answered, nodding, as they used a new door to leave the room. In a scene already seen, the group of heroes found themselves in a wide courtyard filled with ice wolves and sliding balls of ice already back and waiting for them. Oh God, not again. Midna groaned in disbelief. Sigh. Beware the ice wolves. You. So scary. Naruto said, annoyed, as they rapidly dispatched the enemies present to unlock a new door that had been hidden by a thick wall of ice that got demolished by one of the wolves their attacks had sent flying against. Mini-boss? The blonde asked as they saw the eerie statues adorning the middle of the room they were in and the thick bars turning the ample room in a thigh and claustrophobic corridor with barely enough space to pass next to the statues. Well, we still have to find the perfect weapon to defeat the boss of this dungeon. So it was about time. Utsukushi answered. The perfect weapon for the dungeon boss? Jiraiya asked, confused. Do not listen to them. It was only a chance we happened to come by the perfect weapon to clear the dungeon the last 4 times. Midna yelled with an offended frown. 4 times is not chance, it's a pattern. Jiraiya replied, impressed. Yep. Link echoed next to him. No, it isn't. Goron Mines, Booths and Bow, Forest, Boomerang, Arbiter's Ground, Spinner, Water Temple, Clawshot. I didn't need them because of my ninja training, but anybody else would have needed those to win those fights. Naruto listed, amused. Damn it. Midna answered, pouting angrily. That's a pattern indeed, Midna-san. Utsukushi-san is right. We should soon find the weapon we technically need for this dungeon too then. Jiraiya said, nodding sagely with crossed arms. Come on, Midna-chan. I am sorry. The blonde said sadly at the cold shoulders his companion was giving him. Please? I am sorry. I wasn't implying anything bad. Just the coincidences we usually come across. Quiche. She finally answered while still giving him her back. Oh. Okfumu. Sigh. While you two scratch each other's tonsils, I will deal with our new friend here. Jiraiya said with a small sigh, as one of the statues showed up, being instead a heavily armored lizard twirling around a big and heavy iron ball attached to a long chain while growling. I'll take that as a be careful please, Jiraiya-sensei. If you don't mind, Naruto. The spy master said, shaking his head and cracking his knuckles. Whoa! The lizard man growled, launching the ball forward to crush the old man. Hey, halt! Jiraiya quipped as he sidestepped the iron ball, letting it slam on the floor, before using the tense chain as a springboard to jump up and deliver a strong knee hit to the monster's chin, making it stumble back. I'll take that chain ball if you don't mind. Link yelled as he gave a strong bite to the lizard's hand, making it howl in pain and leave behind its weapon in its blind agony. Over here! Rasengan. Naruto's voice interrupted Jiraiya as the blonde's jutsu slammed on the unprotected back of the lizard man, making it fly forward. Kill Stealer. Rasengan. Jiraiya yelled scandalized as he added his own spiraling sphere onto the front of the poor beast, making its screams of pain reach new peaks of volume never before heard from any of the presents before disappearing in a cloud of darkness. It was a cursed suit of armor then, not a real lizard man. Link said in understanding before the group's eyes fell on the abandoned ball and chain on the floor. I fought it, so it's mine. Jiraiya said immediately, but it was Rasengan to kill it. Naruto replied while still adjusting his shirt, while Midna fixed her hair with her face still flush green. I did all the work. You can't tell which jutsu was the lethal one. The other countered, rock, paper, scissor. Rock, paper, scissor. Rock, paper, scissor. Both shinobi yelled as they angrily challenged each other for the right to use the weapon. Ah, I won. Naruto yelled happily as he sealed away the ball and chain. Damn, that shitty luck of his. The spy master grumbled with crossed arms. Here, you can use it. The blonde offered gently as he handled over the huge scroll on his back holding the sealed weapon. Don't wanna. It's a pity gift. The old man replied childishly. Come on. No. Act like somebody your age. Senin. You cheated and left me do all the work before stealing my kill. It was not such an imposing threat, come on. No. Guys? Link said, uncertain, interrupting the two. Fine, I'll keep it for now. Ask it back if you decide to act like a man your age. Blee. The toad sage answered by sticking out his tongue with a petulant expression. Guys. Yes, Link? Minna asked curious. There was a giant wall of ice in the next room. Luckily, there was also a small hole, so I could crawl through it to reach the chest in the room Miss Yetta told us about. The hero, Shade, answered lamely. And? What happened? Naruto asked curious. And where did you take that roll of cheese? Jiraiya also asked, looking at the round, donut-shaped form of cheese behind the golden wolf. This was the treasure in that room. Link said with a shy tone. The compass does point elsewhere entirely. We forgot to check it. Naruto said slowly as he watched the small thing with dead eyes. They have hidden food around. They are not the sharpest tool in the shed, and they hide food the same way they have hidden the key we need. Midna added slowly, with Yetta. 3 seconds later. Luck. Oh, I have hidden cheese there. Not key. It was gift for Yito I took when still healthy. Now I remember, Yetta muttered in realization as the faraway scream of anger made the room tremble slightly and some dust fall from the ceiling. The return trip back to the small creature took very little. Give or take 5 minutes, but not before ending up in the kitchen of Yito thanks to a side door. Ah, what's good smell? Is that cheese? Perfect ingredient. Ah, soup needs more punch. The soup needs more punch? I'll give you all the punches you want. Jiraiya yelled as he tried to jump the beastman. Senin, calm down. Naruto said in alarm as he grabbed the old man in a full Nelson to stop him. No, I want to teach them that treasure chests are no places to store food. Your friend is too stressed, bad for blood pressure. He too needs soup, little more time on fire. It becomes gourmet soup and help Yetta and old human, Yito answered with a loud laugh as he added the full wheel of cheese to the boiling pot. Stock, spices, who knows what, fish, pumpkin, and goat cheese. Sure is a peculiar recipe. Atsukushi said, unsure. Sure as twilight, it makes me curious to taste it though. Midna admitted, humming. Ho ho ho. It's Yito's secret recipe. Want to taste? Yito said proudly. A secret even to yourself if you prepared it on the fly, mixing whatever ingredient we came back with. Whatever. Naruto said, chuckling as he finally accepted the offered dish. So, it's good, Holy shit, it is good. The blonde said in surprise. I'll be damned. The beast can cook. Midna added in surprise as she too tried it. It lacks some meat, but I like it all the same. Link said, happily wagging his tail. It was not worth the nuisance of finding the ingredients. Jiraiya grumbled as he finished his bowl. It was delicious. I bet Yeta will love it. Thank you. Naruto said with a grateful smile. Yito, great chef, Yeta always loved Yito's dishes. Yito just wants Yeta to not be sick. The tall creature answered with a very sad sigh. We will help her get better. Have no fear. Midna said with a reassuring smile. Thank you. Next room. With Yeta, you found cheese I took for Yito? I remembered. She said with a weak, yet happy tone. Yep. He is still working on helping you, you know? His soup is great. Naruto answered with a thumbs up. But I am not hungry. The small thing said with a low voice. Sigh. Your husband is very sad, you know? Yito has traveled back and forth down the mountain through a hellish storm just so he could prepare you the best food. He even faced few Zoras, Jiraiya tried saying, sighing. Yito no hurt, She immediately asked, worried. He is fine, but his heart hurts because you are sick. He wants to help you. Link answered. Yito heart should no hurt. I don't like it. But I remember where Ki is now. Yeta said with a sure tone of voice. Why look at me so funny? I really remember this time, you were very mean guests. She huffed haughtily. Okay. Fine. Please tell us where is the key, Miss Yeta. The group said in chorus. I accept that as valid excuse all the same. We put key in nearby room, so no forgetting. Yeta said simply. Oh yes, it works splendidly. Midna commented under her breath. No commenting from Peanut Gallery. Talks the queen of the snows. The imp girl answered with crossed arms. Thank you for remembering, Yeta. Naruto decided to cut in with a giant smile. How I forget? It's embarrassing. She moaned in despair as she pointed at a new point on the map. It there. It must be, You look for me. Thank you. Check the compass, Naruto. Jiraiya asked as he finally remembered a key detail. Full match, they key is there. The blonde said triumphantly. If you had compass to find key, why you not using it, Yeta asked. We forgot. The others admitted, sighing. Forgetting things is bad, I know well, The beast woman said sagely. We better not dignify that with an answer, lest we fall into rude language. Link said as the group walked out. That wolf says cute things, Yeta said, giggling. Yito's greatest soup is ready. The beast man said with a joyous yell as he brought the whole pot in the room. I'm not waiting to try it. She answered, switching answer mid-talk once seeing the hopeful look in his eyes. Yay. Yito cheered happily, making her giggle. Meanwhile, with Naruto and the others. Rhea Ward. These must be the daddies of those small ball-shaped monsters. Jiraiya said, unsure, as the group kept watching the two strange creatures that had took residence in the cages in the middle of the room. Sporting 8 red eyes each and a big fanged maw from which they kept blowing chilly wind, creating walls of ice. The only movement their stubby arms could do was slowly drag their round bodies around the very small cages. Want to try the ball and chain? Naruto asked. Yes, pass it along, please. I'll return it to you in a moment. You can keep it if you want. Nah, too heavy, and I am the sidekick, not the hero. We are not in a book, Ero Senin. Whatever. The old man answered as he twirled the heavy ball until it spun into a blur. He then threw with the power of a cannonball towards the ice monsters, making them explode. I may decide to keep it, you know? He muttered, impressed. If you say so. Hey. They broke down into those little things. Then they were not their adult form, but a bunch of them stuck together. Minna said, fascinated. Very curious creatures. Link admitted as the group left the area, leaving them behind. Hey, get back here. I will kill you. Come on, push me. I'm gonna bounce on their face. One of the small monsters said, offended to its companions. They are leaving us behind. How dare they? We are a threat, just like every other monster. Another said, scandalized. Then let's duck back together and, I almost forgot. Naruto said, peeking inside the room from the door to toss an explosive note at the small things, and then leave immediately after. What's the kaboom with Naruto and his group? It is strange to see so many cannons inside a house. Midna said, curious, as they passed in front of another of said weapons. It was either because the owner was very paranoid and feared somebody to attack him, or the guy bought a military base and turned it into his home. Jiraiya said, unsure. Fishan? Naruto asked. I possess no information about this place as I was sealed in the altar at the time of its construction, but I can tell you that most of the building is newer than the cannon's master. There is a 60% chance that Mr. Jiraiya's assumption about this being a military outpost refitted into civilian mansion is the right one. The spirit inside the sword answered, momentarily appearing from the master sword. Thank you, Phi. How do you feel? The blonde asked. The magic called natural chakra Miss Satsukushi is helping me channel is cleansing the evil inside the master sword at a faster rate than anticipated. Soon it will be gone, but I will remain alive. I will forever be in your debt for giving me new life. Master, I shall serve you and your family forevermore. Phi answered with a deep bow before returning inside the master sword. You gained a powerful ally, Naruto. Link said proudly. A powerful friend, Link. Phi-chan is my friend, a dear one. Naruto corrected him, smirking. Oh, master. Phi thought happily, oblivious that Din herself had given a hand in making sure she will survive the purifying. It was once cleared the main rooms of ice soldiers that they got into what looked like being the second level of the courtyard. Contrary to ground level thought, the passage was being rattled mercilessly by strong gusts of chilly wind and snowflakes frozen as sharp as shuriken that seemed able to literally cut flesh. There is a hole in the wall we can use to enter. Naruto yelled above the howling of the wind. Sounds good to me. Let's hurry before we freeze alive. Jiraiya answered happily as they hurried inside, after shoving aside the 3 Chilfos standing guard without paying them a single thought. From scorching hot deserts and volcanoes to underwater temples and now freezing mountains, we can't honestly say this mission is boring. Utsukushi said once the group was again inside the huge mansion. I am with Utsukushi-san. This whole saving Hyrule and the world thing is making you and me chew kilometers like crazy. We are exploring the whole land. The spy master said, chuckling amused. I will have one hell of a curriculum, then. I saved the world twice. Who can beat that? Naruto answered proudly. Well, Harry Potter killed Voldemort when still in his crib. Please. Arrow Senin. First off, he is the character of a book and I am real. And he had the bullshit prophecy, saving his ass until he was ready for the final fight. The blonde replied, huffing as the group moved through the new area, following the directions of the compass. In plot armor. Midna added, that too. Chi. You others are just piling up excuses. The old man answered, smirking. We are not making excuses, we are. Holy shit, Naruto said before going wide-eyed, completely frozen. Midna added in surprise at seeing a room completely covered in ice. Past that room, and the one after that sporting of all things a secret passage back to the cannon's room. The group of heroes found a new section of the wall, missing from where they moved to a more secluded section of the courtyard leading to the hidden path, most of which already crumbled, so forcing them to walk on the wall. That brought them to the closed bedroom. They sure used a damn big lock. You sure we can't just blast it down? Jiraiya asked. I don't know where those beastmen found it, but this is an ancient charmed lock. You'll have to destroy half the tower, and we can't risk it. The mirror shard may be too weak to sustain the stress without turning to dust. And that would be bad. Link answered, shaking his head. I can confirm that the lock's enchantment still possesses 98% of its original power. Using brute force is inadvisable. Phi added from the sword. Then let's find the key. Where is it? Midna asked. That room down there, the last door before this one. It's strange to find a key this close to the lock. Naruto answered, once checked the compass. You have to remember that it was Yito and Yeta to close it just because he and his wife were afraid of the mirror. It was to not forget, and maybe because they wanted it easy to reach just in case the mirror stopped being weird by itself. The 10-tailed vixen answered, unsure. Then let's go there and take it. The sooner we do, the faster we will finish our businesses here. The former spy master of Konoha said, sighing as he opened the door the magical object pointed them towards. I can see a treasure chest behind that door. This time it will be easy to get the key to the boss. Link said happily. Trerara clang. At those words, two gates slid down to close both doors leading outside and to the chest. The vibrations of both grades slamming down also caused the 2 dozens of stalactites hanging from the ceiling to fall down, revealing the ice-made soldiers' chilfos that had been sleeping inside them. Why are you looking at me like that? I did nothing. The hero Shade said, shocked at seeing the others glare at him in anger. Just break them to dust. I'm getting tired of this cold. Utsukushi asked, yawning bored. I'll take the 12 to the left. Can you handle the others? Naruto asked, cracking his neck. But I'll say it only once. I am mature, not ancient. Jiraiya answered, scoffing, as both charged the chilfos. Sigh. Man, always charging ahead. A bit of strategy won't hurt you, you know? Midna said, amused as her zone paralyzed most of the creatures, turning them into easy targets. Meanwhile, outside the room, huff, huff. Soup good, but so hard to digest. Yido used too much cheese. Yetta huffed a little as she had made her way towards the same locked door, as she could feel the mirror shard calling her name. We're humans and cute wolf. Shouldn't be here already? She wondered aloud. Kritakabum. In answer, the door of the room where she remembered her husband putting the key exploded outward, followed by most of the wall around it, and several chilfos already turning to ice dust, while the pieces of wall rained everywhere in the courtyard, flattening the few ice wolves still around. Good guess, do not explode house. Found key? She asked as she saw the group, all of them covered in faint scratches, walk towards her with Link holding the key in his mouth. Good owners shouldn't force guests to fight monsters. Naruto answered, imitating her voice. But you safe? Well, yes. Jiraiya answered, scratching his head. Then no problem. But you found key. Good, good. Yetta said happily. You shouldn't walk outside in this cold. You were sick. Midna chided her with crossed arms. I feel much better, so I come find you. I have a bad feeling. Utsukushi muttered in dread. Me too. Link answered, whispered. Bedroom right above us. Ite. Yetta said as she started walking forward, humming to herself. Very isolated for a bedroom. Jiraiya said as the group reached the heavily bolted door to open it. Very cozy and romantic. Yetta and Yido love intimacy. Who? She answered, giggling. Ugh. No details, please. The old man answered, groaning. No details. What Yetta and Yido do when alone in bedroom is only business of Yido and Yetta. The other said, huffing. The room in itself was circular in shape, with a rich red carpet with golden markings covering the whole floor. At the opposite side of the door stood a giant mirror with jagged edges, signifying its being part of a way bigger mirror. There it is. Midna muttered in apprehension. Master Naruto, the magic of the mirror shard is being corrupted by an external power, and said power is awakening. Phi said, appearing briefly from the sword. That's a minor relief. It means that the mirror in itself cannot corrupt people. Naruto said, sighing as he started stretching. What are you? Jiraiya started asking before a low moan interrupted him. Please. This way. Yetta said while walking towards the mirror shard like in a trance. Get ready. We'll need to fight for the right to possess the shard. Link answered, taking the wolf, equivalent of a fighting stance, and grabbing by the hilt the twilight sword the wolf had took from the boss of the Arbiter's grounds. Naruto was gently holding for him, sealed in his scroll. Here. Mirror. You look at it, Yetta said, enraptured as the windows in the room started shaking violently. Grab the ball and chain, old fart. You'll need it. Midna said, floating next to Naruto, as she summoned said weapon out of the scroll and in Jiraiya's hands. Guys? Jiraiya replied, worried, as ice started forming on walls and ceiling. So pretty. The beast woman moaned as she rubbed her face on her own reflection. Trust us, Sannin. We have experience in this sort of things. Utsukushi said, already channeling her chakra through Naruto, ready to help him as the windows shattered and powerful gusts of wind started entering inside, howling in a very unnatural way. Pretty. So pretty. Yetta said as she started shaking and calling towards herself the wind. Oh God. The toad sage said, swallowing hard as the room seemed to grow darker. Pretty. Ugh. Pretty. Mirror. Ugh. Et lovely. The ice had now covered the walls completely, as Yetta's voice started resembling the growling of a demon. When Yetta turned to look at the group, her face morphed into one of pure malice with blood-red eyes and sharp fangs. "No, take mirror." The corrupted beast woman roared as ice exploded into the room, covering everything completely, and then amassing on her body until it formed a giant construct the shape of a highly decorated egg glaring at them from the drawing of a roaring beast it was using as face. "I am Blazeda. Mirror is mine." It roared in defiance. "Holy shit." The Toad Sage yelled in surprise as he and Naruto were forced to jump away to stand on the walls to not be crushed by the twilight ice mass as it started sliding around the room, demolishing everything on its path. Yes, the first time the transformation is a bit overwhelming. Then you sadly get used to it. Link, hosted on Naruto's shoulder, answered sighing. "Are we sure it is not the shard doing this?" Midna asked while Blazeda kept hammering every wall, trying to make them fall down, all the while growling in fury. "Miss Midna, I can feel the twilight magic in the mirror shard inside Miss Yetta. The power that has been used to shatter the main body is corrupting the shard, using its allure to attract new favorable alive hosts and causing it to fuse with Yetta. It is also using its original power to strengthen its hold on both Beastwoman and Shard. We'll need to defeat Miss Yetta to dispel the corruption as it has changed host from Shard to her." Fi answered before returning inside the Master Sword. "In simpler terms, we'll need to kick her ass until she falls unconscious. Xant's power has left the Shard to curse. Yetin cannot return there willingly. So if we weaken our friend enough, it will lose hold on her, and with nowhere else to go, that curse will evaporate, leaving both Shard and Beastwoman free and safe." "You sure it will work?" Jiraiya asked, worried. "It worked for the pieces of the fused shadow, so it should work for the shards too. In theory. That curse needs a living host to keep existing." Midna answered, unsure. "Fused shadow? We'll explain later." Arrow Sennin. Udama Rasengan. Naruto answered as he left himself fall from the wall to plunge a beach ball-sized Rasengan into Blazeda, slamming it against the opposite wall, making it break in half to show an identical copy of its body, only half in size. "We'll have to break each layer to reach Yetta-san." "Eh? I get it." Rasengan. To the blonde, surprised Jiraiya threw the iron ball against the monster. As the sphere cracked open a new layer of ice, the old man was already behind with a Rasengan in each hand, so to burst open a second one. "Be careful. It's going faster," Link said as he bounced from the wall to plunge his sword deep into the ice, creating a huge crack. As he had said, now that its dimensions had been reduced to a third, Blazeda was bouncing from the walls at high speed, and had added a saw-like decoration all around its body that with its high speed was now trying to shred the heroes to pieces. "Hey! That's my weapon, you vile beast." The hero Shade yelled, enraged, as the rapid spinning threw him off while leaving his sword deeply buried in its body of ice. "HY!" Midna yelled as she tried punching the blade deeper with her hair-made hand, cracking the thing in half to show a heavily panting Yetta standing on shaking legs now that her ice armor was finally destroyed completely, even if the rebound of the impact also launched Midna back with a short Kaya scream before Naruto caught her in his arms. "What?" "I wanted to try and see if it worked," the imp girl said from her place between Naruto's arms. "That was mighty dangerous, though," Jiraiya commented. "But also very cool, Midna-chan. Just warn me next time, okay?" Naruto added, letting her go so she could hover near him. "I blame the courage side of the Triforce I have in me," she muttered, pouting. "Focus, my friends. Here comes round 2. Link warned as the freezing wind in the room started again to twist around Yetta. "Off! Yuff! Ero Wargared!" Screaming in rage, the possessed beast woman summoned 6 giant pillars of ice around herself, and using other ice to build a huge icicle-shaped carriage for her to ride. She was weak already from her lack of eating and sleeping, so this level of magic is draining her fast. We are almost there. If we destroy those pillars and then attack her, she will be too weak for the curse to use as a proper host, and we will win." Midna explained as the giant towers of ice went shot like missiles towards them. "Together?" Naruto asked, smirking. "Yep." Jiraiya answered, smiling as well. "What are you?" "Kata. Gokakyu no Jutsu. Fire release. Great fireball technique." Both shinobi yelled as twin giant fireballs went shot towards the 4 torpedoes of ice, making them evaporate instantaneously. "Why I keep getting surprised even?" "Whatever." "Ew." Link howled as he ran across the next pillar to jump on top of the last one, and from their pounce on Yetta, pulling her out of the icicle she was riding, making her fall on the floor. Gaia! The cursed snow woman screamed, making her armor break apart and return around herself along, reforming the missing pillars of ice, so to have once again 6 of them. Okay, that's it. Being gentle won't cut it. Naruto, up for some Sunshin spamming? Jiraiya asked. That I can do. What do you have in mind? The blonde answered. Created some clones and have them destroy the 6 pillars at the same time while me and you destroy the main body and knock the shit of her. Sounds good to me. Look out. Link yelled as all 6 the pillars went shot at blurring speed towards them. Now, Kakebunshi no Jutsu. Naruto said, summoning a dozen clones around the group, 2 clones grabbing a pillar, each stopping it before the impact. Go! Midna yelled as she moved to ride Link up the pillars so that she could get closer and freeze, with a great strain on her side. Blizeta in place with her zone for the few seconds both shinobi needed. Naruto, Jiraiya, running side by side with the blonde, yelled as he grabbed ball and chained to swing it towards Yetta, demolishing the roof of her carriage, slamming the whole thing on the floor and holding it there himself. Wake up! Naruto yelled as he ran along the tense chain towards Yetta and delivering a devastating right hook to her face that shooed her away and against the wall, leaving a deep imprint of her body. Ugh! Off! Jiraiya, Yetta groaned weakly and then let out a blood-curdling shriek of agony as the ice around herself and the room melted and evaporated in an instant. The same moment, she dropped from the wall unconscious. Is it over? Jiraiya asked as the shadow clones dispelled and the room returned to look as it was before the fight even started. Yes, she is free. Midna answered, sighing tired and returning to sit on Naruto's shoulder, as with a weak whimper black particles exited as a thick cloud from Yetta's mouth to form the piece of the mirror of twilight. Go! A faraway wailing of agony was then heard as something left the shard, making it turn from dull to shining. That must have been the taint of Xant's curse, Link said as the shard slowly floated down for Midna to grab. So? Naruto asked. It's safe. It's not the mirror itself that corrupts them. More or less, it seems able to attract whoever looks too deep into it. But enough time away and you will be safe and without withdrawals. But more importantly, there is no corrupting power. The imp girl answered with a relieved tone as she sent the shard in Naruto's scroll. Wonderful. We have 2 mirror shards now. This and the one left behind by the destruction of the main body. 2 more left, Naruto. She said, sighing. We are almost there, Midna-chan, we can do it. He said, grabbing her hand in both of his. You will keep helping me? She asked, moving his hands on her face. Why you ask if you already know the answer? He replied, pouting childishly as he caressed her cheeks. Because I like listening to you saying it. T. She answered, smirking. Miss Yetta seems okay. She's already regaining conscience. Link said as the beast woman was already stirring awake. I feel bad about the way we treated her, though. Midna muttered, sighing. It was the only way to snap her out of her possession. Focus on that. We did all this to save her. Jiraiya answered with a reassuring tone. But it was twilight magic to do this. Then you should see what chakra can do. Stuff that will make your hair blanch in horror. Naruto countered. I can imagine from what you told me. This world, all worlds, can be cruel. Magic, chakra. It all depends on who used their power and how they use it. The small girl muttered. Exactly. Both shinobi said at the same time. Imagine what Naruto could do if he was evil. He would have the same abilities, but the goal behind his actions would be totally different. He will be the same, but his intentions wouldn't. I got it. Sigh. I'll have to do so much work to clean the image of the Twilight world once dealt with Xant. He is not leaving a good impression of us. We'll fix that too. Have no fear. Atsukushi answered, waving her concerns away. Yes. Let's hurry up and collect the rest of those pieces, Naruto. Midna answered with Reno-wed determination as she opened a portal outside. Shouldn't we alert Aku that we are leaving? Naruto asked, curious. Yeah, we should, otherwise that thing will get stuck somewhere strange again. Jiraiya said after a short pause of thought as he opened the front of his clothes. What are you? To their surprise, the deeply asleep Uka's head popped out from the Toad Sanin's clothes as it bobbed up and down. It slept through all this. How? Naruto asked with wide eyes. Better yet, you were holding that thing under your clothes? Midna added. It was freezing cold outside, and I had not a ukasai scarf with me. Jiraiya answered shrugging. That's some heavy sleep, that's for sure. The hero shade answered impressed. YTA. No. It was in that moment that Yito screamed in anguish and ran as fast as he could towards his wife to cradle her in his arms. Ah! Ah! What? What wrong with me? The little snow woman moaned weakly as she finally woke up. The mirror shard. Midna started saying before Yito gently gestured her to stop. Very strange. You just dreaming? The beast man lied with a perfect confused tone. Yito, mirror you gave. Yetta set an alarm before her husband's chuckle interrupted her. Forget mirror, Yetta. No. Look into eyes of Yito. Look in reflection of Yito's eyes. Their true beauty. He said, hugging her close. Who need mirror? The snow woman answered, chuckling. My love. Oh gosh. That is surprisingly romantic. Utsukushi muttered, impressed. Are you taking notes? Erosenin? Naruto asked in surprise. Contrary to popular belief, Aiko Aika also has scenes of simple romanticism, and this is a too good scene to ignore. Jiraiya answered, pocketing his notepad. Seeing this, I think it's time for us to go, Midna said, sighing as she opened a portal on the floor. You saved Yetta. I thank you. You forever good guest in our home, Yito said, grateful. But no exploding walls. Yetta added. Okay. Okay. Naruto answered, laughing as he gave a final goodbye to the couple before he and the others disappeared in the portal. Snow Peak, top of the mountain. Few seconds later, the group reappeared on the top of the mountain where they first met Yito, looking at the clear sky above them and at the LONG way down. Let's start climbing our way down, Jiraiya said, sighing, making Naruto chuckle. What do you think? He asked Midna. I don't know. Maybe if he holds tight. I can't promise it will be a nice trip for him. She answered, unsure. What? The Toad Sage asked as the blonde turned into a fox. Grab my tails, you two. We gotta travel in style. The transformed shinobi said, amused. Okay. The Toad Sage said, grabbing a tail in each hand while Link gently took one in his mouth. I can't stop the meme. Jiraiya. Grab my tails. Naruto yelled as Midna started the teleportation spell, making all of them turn to black fragments, then shot inside a twilight portal. Twilight was the last thing heard before the group disappeared, leaving a rainbow of darkness behind them. Hyrule Field, right outside Castletown. The shooting star formed by the group landed with a flourish of black particles as Naruto softly touched ground with his paws before immediately returning human. See? Way cooler than walking, he said happily. GUH. Bleared. Both Jiraiya and Link groaned in agony before diving for the near bushes to puke everything they had ever eaten in their life. See? That's why I said it would have been easier for you to travel while transformed. Without twilight magic coursing through you, this kind of trip gives nausea to non-twilight natives. Always. Midna explained as she sat on his shoulder. And your people never worked on fixing that flaw? Hey, it only gives nausea to others. Don't blame me if the ones coming up with this still held a grudge against this world. She answered, shrugging, uncaring. Bleared. Oh God, when did I even eat that? Jiraiya was heard asking in horror. Mr. Naruto? A new voice called, unsure. Yes? Oh, the postman. You have something for me? The blonde asked, curious. Well, yes, I think. I don't even know how I even got the letters in my satchel since I don't remember taking them from the HQ. The man answered, showing the thick folder with Naruto's name on it and Telma's address. It's okay, I guess. Who's the sender? He asked, accepting the package while Jiraiya weakly rejoined him, accompanied by Link. Oh, let me check. There are multiple senders. The postman said, looking at his personal memo. Multiple even, you are famous already. Jiraiya said, chuckling. Here it is. A certain Gara, Tsunade, and Shizen. The postman answered in triumph. Ooh shit. Midna muttered, summing up the horror clearly showed by the faces of the two shinobi with her. This doesn't bode well. Utsukushi muttered with wide eyes. Well, I need to finish my round before going home. Have a nice day. Being bright enough to recognize the smell of trouble, the postman broke his personal record and sprinted away at ludicrous speed, leaving behind both Naruto and Jiraiya looking at the letters as if just opening them could spell the end of the world. Let's go inside. We'll ask to Telma and the others for suggestions about how to face this, okay? Jiraiya tried saying while accompanying the badly shaken Naruto inside the town, worried sick about the blonde's lack of answer. Why now? And how did Suna find them? What will happen now? Were the thoughts plaguing the ex-spy master's soul as he tried to see how others outside Konoha may have found out where he was if only Tsunade knew about it. Unless the woman did the unthinkable and sold the information. And he really wanted to believe she would never do that. But now he had a godson to worry about, as those letters had shaken him worse than what he thought possible. And he knew he will have to tread carefully if he wanted to not lose the faint trust he had managed to earn back. He too wanted to remain in Hyrule, so convincing Naruto this was not part of some plot will be his first priority. That's it for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out author of this story. Thanks for watching. Take care.